What is going on, everybody out there? Thank you all for being here. I forgot to do something last week, so I'm going to go ahead and do it right now so I do not forget. Uh, Thank you to all of y'all who have memberships. Thank you to those who gift memberships. RPG88, thank you for that gifted. I see that already. Noble BDS, you are the one who received that. If you're listening, just hop in the chat, say thanks. That'd be cool. Um, JP Loco, Josh, Michael Meridian. I hope man, I hope I'm saying that right. Last week I just said Michael. What's up, Hero? James Williams, Nick, and Toolman. I see that there's a Brap show going on right now, so I know that some people might be in there. Usually our second hour is the best hour. It's the part of the show that we have usually the best conversations, the best arguments, the best chat interaction, and so y'all kind of get this little private little like session in before everybody else gets here. Outsider Gaming Night, what is up? JP Loco wants 10 Rue wives. Just got back from an eye test. The way it looks, I might end up blind in my. Oh, dang. I thought there was a punchline there somewhere. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Man, that sucks. But what do doctors know, right? I mean, I probably shouldn't say that. YouTube might cancel me. It would suck to get canceled right as I got going. Uh, but anyways, so tonight's show, as you can see by the Discord up there, Will is not here. We all knew that last week. We now know that this week that he wasn't going to be here. So hope he is uh, having a good time and that he is getting the final things done that need to be done before he heads on vacation. We do have a guest with us tonight. I'll introduce him here in a minute. But here's what we're going to talk about tonight. I know you can read. Most of y'all, uh, at least I know, can read. But Xbox Showcase had a huge, huge showing. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to act like it wasn't good. But my question is who is it good for? And that's what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to discuss that. Summer Games Fest. Also, we are going to do a recap of kind of games that uh, I found interesting, asked for RPG's input, and just games that we're kind of looking forward to since most of the games coming that are actually coming out with release dates are going everywhere. So just want to go ahead and like not even act like some of the games didn't look cool and wanted to go over them with y'all tonight. And then Summer Games Fest, I didn't do a recap the night of, so because that's Friday night game night at my house, and I had 8 other people here, and so I wanted to get that into. Summer Games Fest was actually kind of lackluster for me, and so there are some things that looked cool, some things I might consider day one. One thing I am getting day one. But yeah, we're just going to talk about a little bit of that. And then Astrobot got like, people got hands on with it, and apparently getting hands on with that little robot has like changed people's lives. Like, not really, but they are saying that. I think one of the quotes that I saw in the Discord, cannot remember who, somebody tell me in the chat if you were the one in the Discord that put this in there. But basically, that it is a PlayStation's 3D version of Mario on the PS5. So that's cool. That gets me even more excited about the game. So kind of wanted to talk about that. Nelson, I'm going to give him his credit on this. He has been saying that Astro has Game of the Year potential, and so let's just go down that rabbit hole. Let's dive in a little bit because maybe it will. Like they're already prepping a DLC, so this game has the hype behind it. And, it wouldn't be a win for Xbox if Phil didn't come in and screw that all up. So, we will be going over the 14-minute interview. And I wanted to go over it um, because I wanted to kind of break it down. Usually I do this on more of a Thoughts with Thrifty, but now that I actually have the capability to go through it in a video, and I hope the panel can hear the video as well. Uh, if not, I'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to try to go through this and just kind of break it down because I don't think everything that was said is like reprehensible, right? There's a few spots in there where we're gonna kind of get into it, and there's a few things that need to be said. There's a few of y'all in the chat even who should take victory laps because y'all called some of this shit way before I did, or you called it alongside of all the rest of us. So tonight is going to be a bit of that. We're going to puff out our chest a little bit. We are here at the playground. And real quick, with that, here's the thing I forgot to do last week. So the people from last week have not been updated on this list yet. Sue me, I'm working a lot right now. Like I'm already in overtime tomorrow. So I'm tired. And I don't, it's either play video games or work on the channel stuff. Play video games or work on the channel stuff this week. I haven't had a lot of time to do both. So, chest puffing. That's right. We're going to let the sleeve monkeys out of their sleeves and just hang out there. But here is the Playground Partner Program. Dear God, I'm going to change that name. We will be called, okay, from here forward, it is now a Sleeve Monkey membership. That's what it is. It is a Sleeve Monkey membership, uh, and I think that was from Tornado Screw. And so he's a member of the Discord, member of the channel, really cool dude. And yeah, when he was on one night, he called us or said something about sleeve monkeys. And so, yeah, Sue Thrifty, take his house and all of his money. That's right, you'll get not a lot. Uh, but anyways, so here are the people who have memberships. A lot of y'all, because of so many generous people in here already, or a few generous people in here, a lot of these names will fall off here in about a week and a half. You can always pick back up your membership. If not, it's been nice having a full board first month starting out. Really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, there is also a link in the description for the Discord. You can join that. That is going to be a forever link. That link will always work because I did some digging and found out that I can make that happen. So that link now will always work in every single one of the videos. Join the Discord. We talk non-stop about gaming. Literally, when the Western, like when not the Western, when the American folks fall asleep, the English and the Australians start talking. And like so it is completely 100% busy all the time in there. It's actually one of the most active Discords I've ever been in, and it's one of the smallest that I am in. But, you know, just like PlayStation, what we lack in quantity, we damn sure make up for in quality. Ooh, that was good. All right. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much. There is also a link in the description to my wife's business. You can check that out. She makes homemade soaps. Homemade? Handmade? They're actually both. But she makes handmade soaps. They smell delicious. They do not dry out your skin. I love them, and I switched over from the one that uses the real big hairy guy in a lot of their earlier ads, and I absolutely freaking love them. And so, yeah, y'all can check that out. Shipping anywhere in the U.S. Sorry, my Australian friends. Sorry, my Europe friends. I don't know how to do shipping overseas just yet, and neither does she. So, anyways, with all of that being said, I have gilded tonight's lily a lot. It is ready to be picked. With that, welcome to the playground. RPG 88, how are you tonight? Thank you so. I'm sorry. Puberty just hit. Dear God, thank you so much for coming on tonight. He reached out to me earlier, said, "Hey man, I know you're a man down tonight. Be cool if I come on." I said, "Yeah, sure. That sounds great." So he is here, super appreciative. And RPG, what multiplayer game are you playing currently?
Good afternoon, Thrifty. Good afternoon, chat. I'm in such a mess of games coming out playing. I'm in the middle of bouncing through Call of Duty, Destiny, a little bit of Starfield, and just trying to find some type of game to get that hook in me. But I would say I'm in. I'm kind of walked away from Call of Duty right now. I'm waiting for the new Call of Duty. But so right now I'm trying to help Will through Destiny 2 whenever he's available. But right now I'm kind of trying to sink my teeth back into Starfield. So
Uh,
not too much into the multiplayer right now.
okay, okay. You kind of surprised me. You're like one of the guys in the Discord that if I like, had a board of 10 games out, I could probably put in 8 multiplayer up there and y'all have 2, and so 2 of the single player. So you kind of surprised me. That analogy was supposed to go a whole lot better in my head, but it didn't. Oh man. Anyways, so with have you played? I'm sorry, RPG. Did you play Stellar Blade?
I did. I played it. I finished it.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm the only man. I take so long to beat games. I really do.
I was probably one of the first ones in our Discord that I think actually finished it first. Not finished it entirely, but I think I finished it first. But I had a lot of time on my hand that week. I took vacation.
Yes. Yes, I remember like because I think you beat it first, and I think Will beat it next, if I'm not mistaken. And then somebody
Yeah.
platinumed it, or a couple people did.
Oh
But
yeah. I'm so far from platinum.
I'm actually, if I continue the course I'm on in that game, I'm not. I might actually hit platinum, just on accident because I can't stop doing every freaking thing available to me. I don't have the ability. That's actually so funny enough. I've been playing Diablo 4 a lot, and I mean a lot. It's actually been quite bad, but I've been playing it a lot, and it's the way it works. Like you can get so sidetracked so easily. So like
Oh yeah.
last night I had like 2 hours of gaming available, and I was at the well, I thought I was at what like the start of Act 3. But when you go to Act 3, you got to leave Skull Glen and go down over to the dry steps or dry steeps. Anyways, and once you're down there, then you go and you start the mission or you start the next act. Well, I wasn't paying attention to my map, and I went up to the very no, to like the northwest stronghold in Skullglen, and I ended up getting like sucked into that part of it. So I did the stronghold, did the missions attached with the stronghold. Then on my way out, I got like I couldn't walk anywhere else, damn it. And I ended up in a freaking like world event where I had to save the people and make sure they lived. And then after that, I finally went down. But because it's the season of loot, they've thrown those little goblins everywhere. And now that with Wara's advice, I've actually like increased my stats enough to where I can actually kill them. And I don't have to worry about things killing me or anything like that still. But like I got so freaking sidetracked because I can't just like if there's something to do, I have to do it.
Yeah.
I
You're
have to
you're not
say
a beeliner.
no. God no. That's
I,
why
I'm not either.
I have like 40 hours I think or 30 hours into Stellar Blade and I'm not close. I'm like halfway through I think. And well, I have 3 of the things. 3 or 4. I got 1, 2, 3. I think I have 4 because I've done 3 areas after the main area. And I'm saying things and areas because not a lot of folks have played the game, so I don't want to like talk about areas because some of the areas are like gives away parts of the story. And anyways, that being said, I get sidetracked a lot. So kudos to people who don't, or people who are just faster gamers than me. Like Josh, he platinums everything he touches almost, and he beats games like the week they come out. It's insane. But like it's I am just a take my time, laissez-faire, gamer. I don't like to rush because then I feel like I'm not getting everything out of a game. But anyways, enough about me. Somebody in the chat asked if I'm going to cover the Sean Layden Phil Spencer tweet, and yes, I probably will. I am trying to find it again because I did not save it. But
Oh, shame,
yes,
shame.
here it is. No, damn, Yahoo caught wind of that shit. That's funny. That's funny.
Uh, I'm sure it's going to be put in the Discord real soon.
It probably will. Let me see if I have it right here. Oh, yes. Yes. I want to give you the choice of player again. Oh, no, that's not the one I was thinking of. Oh, I thought you were the one where he went off about the PlayStation Showcase. That's the one I thought you meant. Sean Layden has not shut up this week, and it's been awesome.
Oh, between Sean Layden and a couple others on Twitter, it's been
It's been
no
great.
less than purely entertaining from my seat.
Purely entertaining. I like it.
It's like I tell the girlfriend, it's like it's TMZ for me. It's just going on Twitter and watching all these people argue and fight and try to cancel each other and all this other stuff.
All right, I am checking the Discord. What? Oh, hey, somebody joined the Discord. What's up? Welcome. I was like, a wild J appeared. What the hell are we doing here? Okay. But sorry guys, I'm literally I'm trying to find the other tweet where basically he was like, "Hey, hey, two people came in, Minus and Wild J. Oh, welcome both of y'all. That's awesome." But so I'm trying to like do like four things at once. I thought having a streaming thing done on my PC was going to be easier. It's a freaking nightmare. But I do like the way it looks, and so for vanity's sake, it's staying around. But it's a pain in the ass sometimes, and I'm just being honest. Okay, sorry, I just realized my mic was way far away from my head. Okay, so I can't find that one tweet that I wanted to cover tonight, but we do have tons of other things to talk about. And so let's just get into it with this. Let's start here. And here's what we're going to start with. We are going to start on list of PlayStation games headed to PS4 and PS5. Yes, this is an article from PlayStation Lifestyle, not necessarily an unbiased source, but I don't give a crap. So, here's everything. And they actually missed one. Metaphor, I think is the name of the game, is
Mm-hmm.
also coming to Xbox, PS5, and I think Switch? I think. I could be wrong about that. I thought it was coming, or maybe it's Steam. Anyway, one of the S's. And so you do have that that didn't make this list, and that might be because I really don't know. Because last year when they originally announced it, everyone was like, "Oh, they finally got it! They finally got this type of game that's so great!" Blah blah blah. And then like a quick Google search, I posted to Twitter and was like, "Nah, guys, it's coming everywhere. Like, chill out. It's okay. I'm not gonna let them Harry Potter you. I promise." But so here's all the games coming, and these are all the games coming to PS5. So RPG 88, the top one on the list, Black Ops 6. What now? If I'm not mistaken, you're a Black Ops player, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you get this announcement. Black Ops 6 will release on the PS5. Great, cool. But then a couple days after that, you hear the developers talking about how it going into Game Pass has been affecting like the way they're handling having to handle the campaign content. So is that a big deal for you? I mean, this isn't a free to play. This is a full blown release. So unless you play it on your Xbox on Game Pass, you're paying $70 for this. So does it bother you that it going into Game Pass is causing a potential issue with the campaign or how they're having to manage it or handle it?
Oh, I'm not familiar on because I don't keep super up to date on the campaign issue. But so they're lessening the campaign as far as like how
No,
blown out it's going to be
let
because
let
it's going into Game Pass.
let me pull this up real quick because I think I did save this tweet.
Yeah, like
Um,
some people keep a little bit more into this than I do,
yeah,
but
so basically that's what it was. It was basically a report saying the devs have said that because the game is going in Game Pass, which they didn't know until just a little bit ago, not like they learned before, of course we did, but it's only been a couple months. They said it's kind of had to.
they're building it for Game Pass and not building it for sale.
Uh-huh. Or they're having to do
Mm.
that favorite word called scoping,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
which is
basically that's what that all rolls up into.
uh-huh. So, because of that, I'm trying to find my saves here. Why are my likes private now? Weird. You give them too much credit. Sorry, guys. Give me just a sec. Eternal IP, June 8th. Okay, so that was... I didn't. Damn it. I gotta get better at saving this. Uh, so yeah, basically it was them. No, it's been in development for 3 years. Less money made. Call of Duty on. So basically, it comes out that they're doing this, and then it comes out that hey, because it's going to Game Pass, uh, we're having to look at the way we handle the campaign a little differently. It was very vague. I remember that. And
Yeah,
so
it sounds very vague.
it was very much like hard corporate speak. Like I can't say too much, I can't say too little, and I cannot be incriminating in any way.
Typical Microsoft.
And so I'm like, uh, okay. And we're gonna talk about this here in a little bit when we talk about the Mr. Just a Sec Thrifty. Shut up. Shut up. Like I said, I have not had a bajillion ounces of time, and I figured RPG had seen this and it would have triggered something in his brain because he's a COD person. But, anyways, going into Game Pass, I think from one thing I want to point out later, uh, I'm not sure if they're going to push that as much as people think they're going to push that going forward. It's still going to happen, but I think they're trying to make a shift. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Black Ops. And then
I
Doom.
mean, here's the thing with Call of Duty, they're they're building or they stepped it back and they're putting the game in Game Pass. There's going to be scoping as you said. So that is going to be Call of Duty from here on out. If it goes into Game Pass, it's going to be less and less. And that affects your campaign, that affects your multiplayer, that even affects Warzone. But Warzone is different because it's, free to play. But you have to make it fit into the Game Pass model. We've seen this time and time and over again with games that go into Game Pass. They're scoped down. They're built to fit. They're not built to sell.
Mm,
So you taking Call of Duty underneath the Microsoft wing, it's going to get less. And
yeah,
that's going to affect not only Microsoft, but that's going to also affect PlayStation. They're going to get a lot lesser product because it has to be built to be in Game Pass.
dude, there was a game recently that was like, hey, we can't put this feature in because we want to have parity across all systems or between the PlayStation, the consoles. And it was something stupid. Shoot.
I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, because
I
I
do.
related
It's
it
on the tip of my tongue.
to like the DualSense. Like it's just because your machine can't do it doesn't
Oh,
mean I should be
I know which
punished.
one. Yeah, yeah. Why should I have to pay for? It's like when something happens at my job, somebody messes up, but the entire company has to pay for it. So I have to pay. I have to be restricted because of somebody else's screw up.
Yes, and it's so stupid. Yeah, it was Valorant. Oh, it was the gyro aiming in Valorant.
Yeah, gyrate. Yep, Valorant.
Right. They said no, we're not going to do that, and it's because we want parity and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I told Josh this in the chat. I was like, listen, I don't use gyro aiming. I can't. For some reason, my brain doesn't work that way. Which is weird because I'm a decent shot with, things that shoot stuff. And so, pause. And so, using that gyro, you figure it's kind of like that, but it's not. It's really not. And so, it's not a big deal. But what happens when it becomes something else? What happens when it's, oh, we don't want to do 60 frames per second because the Series S can't hit it? Oh, we don't want to do DualSense features and benefits because the other consoles don't have it. Like, come on. You had the
They
same
did.
amount of time as PlayStation to build a decent system, and you didn't. Go ahead, I cut you
I
off.
would say then it doesn't get bought. It doesn't get bought from people like me, from people like you, from people that are in the chat for the majority. But the casuals will buy it because the casuals are not as informed as we are. They're not as linked in as we are. So the casuals will always override us. We are the hardcore gamers. We
Yeah,
are the minority.
we're the 15%.
Exactly. So we can pull our hair, we can shout, we can scream, we can go on YouTube, we can go on Twitter, whatever, and just have a complete meltdown because somebody didn't acknowledge us. But that is what it is. It's not going to matter. But
Uh,
I agree with you that yeah, it sucks because we have to cater to somebody else's standards eventually. Are we there yet? No, but Valorant with the gyro system, that's it's starting to be the beginning. If you don't count the Series S and all their stuff
Right, it's
with
that
being,
slow erosion. And we've talked about it before how corporate companies do that shit all the time. They do those slow erosions. People are saying that PlayStation is doing it right now, that maybe by the PS6 all games go day and date to PC. Now,
it's boiling the frog.
right, it's boiling the frog. It's essentially that but the difference is, PlayStation has 140 million, I believe, or 130 million active users every month. Xbox doesn't, and so when they make a decision, and some people in their player base are like, "Oh, that's stupid. You shouldn't do that," but generally most people just go along with it. That that doesn't speak as loud as when PlayStation does it, or when PlayStation does something stupid. When they do something stupid, the entire freaking community, or at least a much larger number of people, just by sheer, stats, if PlayStation has 140 million and Xbox has 50 million, and 10% of both groups gripe and complain about something, well, one has way less than the other. I thought I was going to be able to do quick math there, and it didn't work out. Um, but so when these games are going to start coming to Game Pass, and these games are going to start being on Game Pass, we're going to start seeing Game Pass affecting us, just like RPG said, just like this Valorant thing, just like it, because now the game has to be scoped. It has to scale down. It has to be for a subservice. And what's really funny is when oh shit, what was his name? Phil Spencer. Yeah. When he talked about games that are good for Game Pass, he brought up the game Mixed Tape, which is coming to PS5 already. It's right down here. It's about number 10 on your list. Call it 8, 9. And so a game that he wants to put in the Game Pass, here's what the game looks like. Here. I'm not going to play any of the oh shit. That's the wrong thing. There we go. Why? Thank you. So like a game like this, it's very actually.
Go
I'm
back
sure
to
we
a
can play that.
time where summers lasted forever, when friendships were unbreakable,
Well, look at
and
this game.
any trouble was good trouble.
It is
This
very
year, I
much
wanna ride a flaming
a
stallion
subservice type of game, and I'm not saying that to be rude to the dev team or anything like that, or say it's going to be a
From
shitty game.
Beethoven and
But
Dinosaur
this is what
comes
Phil
an
Spencer has in
adventure
mind
of a
when he
lifetime
puts
in the
games
making.
on Game Pass. Games like this,
Experience the
smaller
freedom
titles,
of the
indie
teenage
titles,
wasteland,
things like that.
sneaking
Yeah, this is
So,
a great fit for Game Pass.
right,
For even for PS Plus, this is a great fit.
absolutely, no
But
problem.
your problem is you putting tentpole titles, console sellers into your subsystems.
And if you're going to release them everywhere, you need to make sure they actually live up to the standards of those other places. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you can't be selling or you can't be giving this stuff away and expecting to be profitable.
well, and it was either Hermer. It was either Hermer Hirsch.
Armor.
It was either Herman Holst or Mark Cerny that said all of their data shows that uh, the majority of the players care about frame rate, right? At least
Mhm.
the PlayStation players care about frame rate. And I'm guessing they're getting that from how many times people switch over from 30 FPS because it starts out in 30, which this might be why most games start out in 30. Anyways, they start out in 30, then you go into the menu and you switch them. Well, when you do that, if your PlayStation is linked to the internet, I'm sure they have a way of watching that and monitoring that and getting that data and that feedback. So, with that being said, a game goes to Game Pass. Okay? And it needs to be, and it's supposed to be this big, massive game. Call it a, oh shit, call it a EA game. Okay, let's say the new Jedi game, whichever one comes after Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
And it's coming out, let's say it's the end of the life cycle. It's going to come out and it's going to go, and because of everything from the PS5 Pro and all of that and what it can do now, our machine just spitballing here is able to do 60 frames per second, 1440p native, blah blah blah, ray tracing and all this other shit. Now, this bandwagon, this not bandwagon, but this thing has grown from Call of Duty possibly having issues with the campaign. I said possibly, so anybody who wants to clip me here, or anybody who wants to argue with me in the chat, I said possibly. Uh, this possible issue with that and what Valorant is doing now, like, it terrifies me if EA makes a deal or if EA sits there and says, hey, because this game is going to go over here, we want parity now across everything, just like these other places have done. That's actually a really good idea, and it's made it easier on our dev teams. And so we're just going to go ahead and build for the weakest console, or we're going to remove features that they don't have. And you know what? Sorry, PS5 Pro owners. You're just going to have to just deal with it because we want parity. We have a new matchmaking thing in here where you can do multiplayer and play different uh, Jedi or whatever. And like that right there. And I hear Warawana in the back of my head right now saying I'm overreacting, saying this is reaching, saying these other things in my head that he has said to me before. Like, but gosh dang it, it starts with one, doesn't it? Like Larian Studios. Let's take it on the Xbox side. Larian Studios says, "Hey, we're not putting our game over there because it can't do split screen. We're just not." Or no, you won't let us put our game over there because we can't get split screen to work on your box. And so what happens? The biggest game, or one of the biggest games, comes out and sells gangbusters, and Xbox is sitting there with its thumb up its rear end. And then Xbox went ahead and caved. What happened? Well, two more games did or two more developers were able to do the exact same thing that Larian did, and they got little caveats here, little caveats there. Um, and so like all it takes is one, and then it becomes easier to do it and easier to repeat it. And so I just hope that even though I hate Call of Duty because it's a multiplayer live service game, I have usually enjoyed the Black Ops games. The Black Ops campaigns have always been really, really good, second only to Call of Duty Ghosts, because that campaign was fire. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
you and I are the only two people in the world who think that, but that's fine. Like,
I mean, not that Black Ops' story is any slouch, but yeah,
no,
Ghost was definitely my favorite.
Ghost was so good. And like I said,
Modern Warfare, you can take it or leave it.
yeah, I hated Modern Warfare. But that's also not a popular opinion either. I, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty Ghost. That is in reverse order of how I would order the campaigns. Uh, but with with Black Ops, I hope it's good. It's a game that honestly I used to love finding on sale, and like, cause after about a couple years you can get them for like $5, and so like I'd always find it on sale, play the short 10, 15-hour campaign, and I'd spent $5 for 15 hours of time and enjoyment, and it was fine. The gunplay was always solid. It was kind of fun, and the stories were decent. And so I really hope that they don't lessen the campaign even more, because we saw what they did with the Modern Warfare 3. That was a joke.
Oh yeah.
That was awful. And this is like 3 hours of a dang campaign. Come on. 5 hours. I'm sorry. It was 4 to 5
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, it was about 5 hours. I played through it. Yeah, it was yeah, and you're talking to somebody who you spent the holy crap bundle. But I also buy Call of Duties to play the multiplayer, not so much the campaign. The campaign is more of the bonus for me, but I have people that I play with almost on a nightly basis that's what I buy Call of Duty for. So we get about that week period where the multiplayer isn't active yet, and we're all knocking out the campaign and kind of talking about this, that, and the other. But yeah, I'll be very interested to see what the Black Ops 6 story has. I know I played a little bit of the Cold War. I didn't finish it, but the Cold War, from what I played, was really enjoyable. I actually need to go back and beat that one.
Yeah, like I said, man, you're mentioning these titles and I'm like, "Yep, that's a title." I'm not. I fell out of Call of Duty so hard when they did Black Ops 4. Because
Well,
Black
it
Ops
didn't.
4, they didn't have a
Black Ops 4
campaign.
didn't even have a campaign. Yeah.
I know. And that's when I said, you know what? You're chasing this live service bullcrap, and I'm done.
I
And
I don't even think I bought it.
that was the other
The
thing.
Black Ops
They were
4.
having
I don't even
people
think I bought it.
pay full freaking price for a multiplayer title shooter. Like, come on. Then they and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Warzone out at the time?
I believe it was. Yeah,
I
I think.
thought
Well,
it
was it
was.
Warzone or was it Blackout? I believe it was Blackout, which was like the pre-Warzone thing.
Mm. Well, that
I
would
think
make more
that's what it
sense then, because
was.
it
Yeah.
Warzone kind of was what launched them into being mostly like known for that, right? Like they're known for Black Ops, but the game that's played repeatedly all the time is Warzone. That's the one. What's up, and
Yeah, and
Nate?
I
Dang, I
can't.
missed a lot of people. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I can't really. I mean, I will play Warzone from here and there, but I just don't really care for the BR Warzone anymore. The Fortnites, the Apexes, and all this other stuff. I want my small little maps. I want 3v3, 6v6, whatever the case may be. But as far as the Warzone, yeah, I don't really care much for it. I'll play a little bit of the big BR zombies, but that's really about as far as I go into it.
So let's move on. There is Doom: The Dark Ages. I
Oh,
I have not played. Well, let me rephrase that. I am not good at Doom games. You know, there is this school of thought where I tell people I don't suck at Souls games. I just don't have the patience to play them. Like I think any gamer can sit down to a Souls title and be good at it if they want to spend enough time and they have enough patience. I'm not that guy. Doom, that's totally different. Doom I just suck at. Like there is no other way to put it. I played Doom Eternal. I freaking loved the soundtrack. I started making people like saw in half and explode and I blew them up and it was great and then all of a sudden 37 things came out and they all ate me. And then I tried that about 7 more times and I said F it. Like that's but man, the grapple, the stab, the rip open, the way you refilled your ammo, it was all awesome. So I can definitely see why this game has people's attention. It's
as
just
of
a
right now, I'm there day one.
oh, I can only dude, this like it looks really really cool. And we're going to go ahead and watch this one too. Maybe. My internet, would you like to? There we go. That's weird.
Yeah, it's a pretty short trailer too. I mean, they gave you a
Well,
taste. They didn't
it's
give you too much.
it's a
Just
2 minute.
taste. Yeah, well,
But we're gonna like look at this. This actually looks pretty good, and weirdly enough, it has. Oh, that's just for the channel. Like I didn't think any of the games clarified what they were being shown. Turn that down a bit. I hope this isn't copyrighted.
nothing like smashing skulls and
Yeah.
shooting guns, jamming out, and just losing yourself in the carnage.
Okay, so this is gameplay. Like, this looks really freaking sick. And once again, I absolutely suck at these. And I don't like first-person shooters. But this looks sick. And it looks like it's at a full lock 60. So, like I said, it doesn't tell us what they're playing it on, but dang, it actually looks really, really good. It looks.
I'm really surprised you didn't go in. You don't get more into these. I mean, you've admitted to liking Titanfall too, and the story and everything with it.
But
This
these are just hard.
gameplay seems somewhat similar. I mean, Titanfall had some hard moments in it.
It did.
Titanfall wanted me to throw my controller once or twice.
Man, it looks really, really good. Hang on, let's see. I always like to read the last little bit. Okay, so coming to Game Pass, Series X and S, PS5, and PS4? No, that can't be right.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's because they have to list all the PlayStation ones.
Play
Okay.
it day one with Game Pass.
Huh. Sorry, I hear that and I throw up in my mouth a little bit. My bad. I said play it with Game Pass. So, oh shit, I was staring at the trailer and not the stream.
Oh.
What's up, Will?
What up, Thrifty? What up, RPG?
What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. I've been listening to you guys since you guys started, and finally got to all my stuff, and I just want to relax, and what better way to talk games with you guys? So I decided to hop back in before I go on my bon voyage,
Well, heck
which
yeah,
will
man.
bring me right back. But, you know,
It will. It will. But awesome, dude. So basically, you've heard we're just going through the games, and
yeah.
funny enough, I haven't had to skip one yet because there's not one that didn't look really, really good. So the next one we're going to get into is one that I am so happy that after the fact we have seen actual gameplay from people who've like posted a couple clips or shown how combat works because the Dragon Age games lost me because their combat felt so damn clunky. And I will be honest, it looks like I wasn't the only one because this new Dragon Age looks freaking sick. So, once again, this is all from the. Okay, guys, this is all from the Xbox Showcase. Like, the Xbox
Oh yeah,
Showcase.
then it should be the best version of it, technically, right?
Oh, sure. Oh sure.
Of video quality, I mean.
Oh yes, because they're playing it on a PC on Game Pass. Okay, so cutscene, blah blah blah.
This'll take more than
Let
you and me.
me- Wait, is this just the reveal?
We need someone to be our eyes and ears.
Oh, I
in
thought
the
this had
shadows.
gameplay in it too.
Gameplay is like 20 minutes long one.
Did a separate one for the gameplay, which was I think 2 days later.
Yeah.
That was just a trailer of the CGI. But you know, with Dragon's Age, it's funny because when a lot of people, a lot of the hardcore fans saw the trailer, they were very disappointed in it. They didn't like the tone of it. They didn't like the music. They were just not having it. And then when they released the 20-minute gameplay, like dive in or whatever,
Uh-huh.
then a lot of that tune started to change. And I agree, man. I mean, I've played Dragon Age before, never beat none of them because, like you, Thrifty, I think the combat is clunky. It's kind of like a mix of like turn-based slash action, but
Yeah,
it's
and it
it's a
had
little
the
weird.
MMO feel. Like it,
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, it felt like a more in-depth version of like a World of Warcraft when I was playing it, and that
Hmm.
that could have been because I was playing WoW at that time also. Because I think I tried out Dragon Age Inquisition whenever Mista Pandaria came out, and I got to play as Jack Black and Panda in martial arts and stuff. So I did that. But I was a panda monk. I was a tank. It was great. Um, but when I played Dragon Age Inquisition, two things I hated about it. One, you had to read a freaking book at every freaking person you talked to. That was annoying. And then the other thing that I hated about it was the combat felt like shit. But in this one, what's really funny is when I saw it. Here you go. Look at this. You are bouncing around. You are going from side to side. You're able to pop back into bow, out of bow. It's full action all the time. And yeah, the graphics don't look just stellar. They really don't. They look kind of late gen, last gen. So not terrible. It'll still play very well.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, dude.
I think the graphics look good.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the art style is working for the graphics. And
Maybe it's the
And
art
I don't
style I'm not a
see-
fan of.
it might be because it's
'Cause
kind of. I heard a
Cartoonish.
lot of people saying like, it's kind of Fortnite-ish. It's got
Yes.
that same color palette. But I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I would rather have a game that's in this art style that is able to run smoothly and still look presentable than have a realistic, photogenic game that is running at 30 and hitching like crazy.
Is this game Unreal Engine 5?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because I've noticed that with Unreal Engine 5s, they have this signature look to them. I don't know how to explain. I don't want to say it's bubbly, but it's kind of realistic, but it's like it's too realistic, and they got to tone it down so they make it more fake. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly, but it has just this like signature look to it in my eyes. I'm a big graphics guy. I love graphics. I play games in quality mode first, and then if I like it enough, I'll play it again in performance. But I was just wondering because this game kind of gives me that vibe of being in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm wondering, are we not saying Dragon Age is the game that's going to get us there, or it's a clue that it's getting us there, but with this showcase and some of the gameplay that I saw, I really feel like we're starting to hit the stride now with current gen games that look like current gen games.
It's using the Frostbite.
Frostbite,
No,
okay.
no. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is indeed powered by Unreal Engine 5. BioWare recently revealed this highly anticipated installment of the Dragon Age series. In the Veilguard, you'll explore blah 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 blah.
Oh, I'm looking here. I see Frostbite, but you might have updated info on it.
Oh, that's what.
Well,
Well,
Frostbite
hang
could
on.
be animation, right?
Yeah, if they might use the frostbite for the animation, but this is from Copilot, so this is Microsoft telling me this, okay? Like, that's their AI, so it very well could be wrong. But yeah, anyways, this combat has me freaking excited. And the way it looks, like I said, these are graphics that I would play. So a couple things I look at when I start talking about, video games and graphics and my expectations, especially on games like this. So back here, you have fire over here. I can't zoom into it. You have a bolt over here, but you have nothing showing anywhere. A game with this kind of art style, in my opinion, should make up for it with ray tracing, global illumination, and things of that nature. Please don't listen to AI or get your news from AI. Absolutely not. For some reason, it popped up in the corner, and so yeah. Hang on, let me.
Is this a 2025 game or 2024?
Uh, are you asking about Dragon Age?
Really? Yeah.
I want to say it's 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, it says coming fall 2024 down in the description.
Just wondering how much more work they have left.
Probably not much, but like, and you're right. I know what you're hinting at, and you're right. It could be an old build, but for me, it's actually one of my problems. And this, spoiler alert, this is going to be in my review video of it, but it's actually one of my problems in Diablo 4. I thought they could have done a lot more with the ray tracing and the lighting, especially as me who's playing a sorcerer. Half the fun is when you cast a spell, it kind of lights up the whole area, and you don't really get that. Like, there's plenty of tight corridors, there's plenty of areas that you're in that could make great use of that and really make the whole screen like flash out at you because of the global illumination and ray tracing, but it doesn't. And so, like, those things matter to me in games that are not as graphically intense. If you have a graphically intense game, then abso-freaking-lutely. I understand if you went ahead and cut it, I'm not happy about it, but like, so Stellar Blade did not use any ray tracing in it. They used the old model, which was SSR, screen space reflection. But and this is just a theory. I have no way to prove this, but they did it extremely, extremely well. And it's no secret that one of the PlayStation studios had mastered the form of screen space reflections, which was Naughty Dog. And so there is a small chance that they had help on that. So in that game, it still looked good. But most of the time, I am going to expect some form of ray tracing in my current gen titles. And so that's my only gripe with games like that is I feel like they're not pushing the hardware that I own to its limit. But at the same time, do I want them to spend 2 more years to get that to happen, or do I want to be able to play games now? And so there's a give and take here with that. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Are y'all okay if I skip Fallout 76? I have zero interest in talking
Yeah.
about that game.
Before we
Okay.
move on, Thrifty, something I want to say real quick. Not Dragon Age, but well, yes, the people who make Dragon Age, what's her name?
BioWare.
BioWare.
Yeah, Bioware.
I really, really hope that the gameplay that we saw is that and more. And I hope that the hype continues, and I hope that the game is successful, and I hope that BioWare really gets a punch of life into them because I really like BioWare. I mean, they have come out with some of my most favorite games, and I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I really think that if Dragon Age fails, I think that this will be BioWare's last hurrah. So, but once again, it's up to them,
Well,
right? If
they
they
also
do
have
well,
Mass Effect 4 still.
I know they do, but you know how EA is with
I
just
know.
cutting the umbilical cord no
Please don't
matter
say
what.
that. Please don't say that.
I know,
Anthem.
dude.
Listen, I saw the N4 on the helmet, and I want it.
Oh, dude. Whenever Mass Effect, dude, that's like if I were to pick, I'm talking Ghost of Tsushima, like any of these games that I'm looking forward to, I would give them all up to get Mass Effect 4 right now. That's how much I really am looking forward to that game.
Thrifty, you should wait for Path of Exile 2. Listen, we're gonna get to that. That's in the next part of this. Yeah, we're gonna run late tonight. We're gonna get to that because PoE 2 is actually a game I am kind of excited about. It looks sick. But anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and continue because the next one, oh my gosh, when I saw this, I literally, I'm not kidding. As soon as I saw the trailer, I pulled over and I was, I watched it and then I Googled, is this game coming to PS5? I'm not even kidding, because it looks so freaking good. And I know it's turn-based, so other people aren't really gonna like it, and blah blah blah, and yada yada. Let me take off these for y'all. Let me take that off. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
this is one that I was not able to pay attention to when it was shown.
Product not yet rated.
I was in the middle of work when all this was going on, so I was peeping in every once in a while.
Okay. So, oh my god. Also, I've never heard of Sandfall Interactive before, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is absolutely like just a strange title, but
ticking down every year.
oh my god, this
One
looks so
stroke.
good.
And everyone of that age vanishes.
It was right there in the trailer that I was like, oh, I'm interested.
She paints again. And every year, an expedition departs for the continent with one hopeless mission. Destroy the paintress so she can never paint death again. We'll break the cycle so she can't steal
Okay,
anyone
and
else's future.
I know that this is CGI,
This world
I get it.
is full of wonders.
Yet
But,
everywhere
oh
we
boy.
go, we walk with
and there is
death.
some gameplay coming up in here in just a few
You
seconds.
mean we're the only ones left?
Also, isn't that a like famous chick? Here,
Oh, I have no
You
idea.
mean
hang on,
we're
that
the
one
only
right there.
ones left?
The redhead?
Full
No,
of wonders.
here,
Yet everywhere we go,
not
we
her.
walk with death.
Do you mean
That one. I swear to goodness, there's an actress that looks just like that. Ben Starr did the voice. Oh my god. Yep, I'm in.
we're the only
Okay.
ones left?
His Life is Strange multiplat. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. And for 40 extra bucks, you can play it. I think it's a week early or some shit like that. They're going crazy
Okay,
with these
so
prices.
Yeah, they are. This is.
It looks good. It might actually get me into the turn-based
it looks so
genre.
fucking awesome. And so so now we've seen. Look at that! Look at that! Look at those bosses! Look at the Josh, the Final Fantasy X style
Even if we
of
fail,
turn order up in
May
the
the
left.
trail for those who will come after.
Oh my god, this game right here has me freaking
We
hyped.
are Expedition
And-
33.
I can't wait. It's
The
coming in
bosses in
2020.
there kind of looks like the
freaking
Dark
5.
Souls bosses.
That's kind of what I thought, but oh, sorry, that's the interview. And so freaking excited about that game. Will, I know you're not much into turn-based games, and I don't think this is going to make you change your mind, but it looks really good, and that
Yeah.
was shown.
It looks great. The only problem is that it's turn-based.
That's a bonus for me because it looks the way the combat looked like it was set up had some influences from Final Fantasy from the older ones. And even though those weren't turn-based, those are active. Anyways, not going to get into that tonight. But yeah, this game is coming out. It's coming to PS5 in 2025, and I cannot wait. I hope the price on that is low because it is going to be a day one buy for me, and I don't know if I wanted to take up one of my slots. But anyways, okay, so Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater got a trailer. I'm not really going to talk about that right now because it doesn't have gameplay with it. That's why when I started the Dragon Age, I could have swore that Dragon Age did show a little bit of gameplay in the at the Xbox showcase, but I was wrong, and thankfully y'all pointed that out. Um, Flintlock is I wasn't really. What do y'all think about Flintlock?
I think
Uh,
Flintlock looks fun.
All right, well,
I really do. I really do. I think it looks a lot of fun. I want to see a little bit more of it, but I was kind of sold. It kind of got my interest on it.
did
There's
it?
it kind of gives me a little bit of Stellar Blade vibes, not too much, but kind of like the same camera and everything. And then you got the weird stuff going on with the camera and everything. But I think it looks good. I don't think it looks like a bad game. How it performs is it's gonna be different. It's, we did not get to see a whole lot on performance, but it doesn't look like it's hitching in the trailer. So it's a cool idea. I'm gonna be interested in seeing a lot more of it.
The traversal seems interesting. There are some things about it that look good, but the fact that it's a Souls Light, I need to wait for more information to come out because if that term is being thrown around so much that I don't really just want to take it at like even like what they say in a YouTube video or in a thing because I've heard too many people say that Stellar Blade is a Souls like and it's not. Uh, and so there's a lot of games lately that if they have a parry button and a dodge mechanic, then they are Souls likes. And so Thrifty just creamed his pants. I pretty much did. That game looks freaking sick. Um, I thought it looked good. High double A looking title.
I mean,
Um,
with the flying through the air, it kind of gave me that Forspoken type vibe to it as well,
yeah. And
with
to be
with the
honest,
traversal.
that's honestly one of the reasons I want to get Atlas Fallen because I loved the traversal in Forspoken. You could travel the entire map in like 2, 3, 4 minutes. It was great. It was so fast, and very rarely, uh, I very rarely found it boring. But let's continue. And Will, you can jump in whenever you hear something. Um, okay, so some of these others I'm not really. Okay, so Elder Scrolls Online, getting the DLC, whatever. Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. I am not spending $40 on that. Okay, let me not bullshit. I might spend $40 on that and just hate myself,
which
but
one?
Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Now that I'm excited for. Um, I went to go actually
Does
the
it make you
very end
feel a
of
little
the
sleazy though? Does it make you feel a little
no,
gross?
no, why not? Why?
No,
It's
because
a
he's
DLC.
paying money that for something that he wants that he
I
Absolutely.
likes.
guess that's true.
And plus we pay for DLCs. I mean, I pay for DLCs all the time. For
That's
games that
true.
I really like. I think we have to rework your brain a little bit, Thrifty, because
Because
you
I
just
hate
think so
Blizzard.
negatively. Yes. And now you're assuming everything they do is sleazy. And this is not why is it sleazy? I mean, look at what's
Because
the
it's
DLC that's coming
Blizzard
out
and
this
they're
month?
dirty and they charge $25
Well,
for a skin.
they all do that. I mean, look at RPG. How much did I pay for the Horizon skin at over at Bungie for Destiny?
$20. 20.
$20. $20. And you know what? I can only use that with a hunter. And there's three different classes. So I started a new game where I was playing with Nelson and I decided to go with Warlock. And I'm looking for my skin and I'm like, where the fuck? This is so complicated. And I'm bitching once again about Bungie being just so difficult to find shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is not a hunter. So I paid $20 for a skin I can only use with one fucking character. So they all do it. The question really comes into play is the value there, right? And if we
Hmm.
look at that trailer, it gave me For y'all that don't know, Diablo is Spanish for devil.
Hmm.
So when I saw that trailer, first off, it got my heart racing, which is really hard for trailers to get that reaction out of me. When the arms got split open, I was like, "Oh shit, I've never
Oh,
seen that
good.
before." Like I've never seen that before. And true, this wasn't any gameplay, right? But I'm not the type of guy who bitches about CGI. I mean, I even told with the state of play, people were complaining about the 7 minutes of movie and then 6 7 minutes of gameplay. I
Yeah.
like that. I like
Well,
the fact that they're gonna do weekly episodes.
and let me just jump in real quick to add to that. I don't need gameplay for a DLC or for an
Yeah,
expansion. Like, I don't. I've already played the damn game. That's why I'm buying the expansion. Like,
and they will, right?
right.
Once we get closer, they'll show us whatever new features.
But I'm just saying it's not
They'll have.
needed to know how
No,
Diablo plays. Like,
no, no. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
don't think it's
I've
sleazy at all.
I've played Fortnite. I don't need gameplay of the next DLC season of Fortnite. I know what Fortnite plays like. I
it,
want to see what what the story or what the arc is of the next season.
right. Okay, so Thrifty, if D4 is selling a skin for $25, then a whole DLC campaign is easily worth 40. Right.
And look, what I was saying before? What DLC comes out this month? The Souls game, Elden Ring.
Shadow of the
Oh,
Erdtree.
Shadow of the Erdtree.
So that's $40. I don't hear people bitching about it. I mean, some people pay triple, right? And sorry, I don't mean to make fun of the situation because that's shitty, right? But people
I
are
just realized
begging
what
to
you were
give.
referencing. That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah, if you're a Discord, and shout out to who I'm talking about, man. That's shitty. But they're the nobody's bitching about that, right? Everybody's excited. People are willing to pay and more. And I brought this up a few I don't know, a couple weeks ago when what's his name? Ibarra. Was it Ibarra? I don't know. It's one of these leakers or guys that's on Twitter or X who's in the business were talking about how a game is so awesome that they wish they can tip them at the end. And
I
I
got a tip
totally
for
agree
you.
with that because there's games where I pay for $70, I beat it, and I'm just so in love with it, and I wish that I can give more support. So if there's any DLC content or anything else that I can purchase additionally, then I will, right? But that's just me being a huge fanboy over the art. And I played Diablo 4 campaign. I absolutely loved it. I didn't play much of the seasonal stuff or the multiplayer online content stuff. And now that you've played it, Thrifty, do you think, based on what you've got so far, that this, putting aside the fact that you hate Blizzard, do you think that Diablo 4's quality at least deserves your investigation more into the upcoming DLC?
So here's what I'll say. You asked me a simple yes or no answer, and I'm gonna kind of woman you a little bit and not give you a simple yes or no answer. And sorry to any ladies in the chat, but traditionally speaking, that's why they're called stereotypes. Traditionally speaking, I'll just use me and my wife as an example. I'll ask her something, and instead of just giving me the response, she goes on this whole tangent, and then finally somewhere in all of that story is what actually I asked. Sometimes it's not, which makes for a really funny response of, okay, so, and then I just re-ask the question. But anyways, so, sort of, kind of, maybe. I think if it was $30, I would have been all in. I think if it was $30, I wouldn't have even had to ask because if I'm not mistaken, I think I got the Reaper of Souls expansion for like it was either 20 or 30. And yes, absolutely. With Diablo 3, I bought every expansion. Every expansion. And so, yes, I will probably end up getting this, but I don't know if I will get it day one. I don't know. And plus, I haven't beat the game yet.
Well,
And
you shouldn't
so,
get a day one anyways.
I
You
don't.
specifically.
Right. I don't think that I don't think that that's going to fit with what I want to do anyways. if I'm in like a gaming lull or something, Diablo is a franchise I always go back and play. And so then I might pick it up, try the story with a new class, see how it works, and do all that. That's what I did with Reaper of Souls. And the other one that I can't remember the name of now. But where did you get $40 for the DLC from? I thought it was 40.
It is $40.
Yeah, it's when you open up Diablo up in the on your screen, it'll show at the top you have your character select, and then you can go over to the shop, and there's a little green tag on it that says pre-sale or pre-shop or pre-order or some shit. And it gives you the three different tiers. One of them is the oh my god, you have every skin. The other one is oh cool, you have a couple skins. And then the other one is oh, you just buy the expansion. And so just wanted to like because I stared at it for a while because I almost bought it yesterday. Like I said, I'm super on the fence about buying it day one versus waiting for it to be half off or $10 off or whatnot because my God, it does look good, and I do love Diablo, and it is more story. God dang, $40 for an expansion. That to me is a lot. It's the same reason why I haven't purchased the expansion for Tales of Arise because when it came out, it was like $30, I believe. And yes, it's a big expansion. And yes, even on the show, I said that's well worth $30, but it's not worth it. Like, for I was for the gamer in general, yeah, that's a decent price. It's a lot of content. But for me, like just a DLC and add-on, I don't I don't like paying more than $20-$25 for those. And it's just and maybe that's something that has to change with me. I don't buy a lot of DLCs, and so like every time I look at a new DLC, I guess it might be like sticker shock or something. But
I
I
think it is something that has to change with you because, for example, Cyberpunk DLC that had Idris Elba, it added, I mean, and the DLC cost $40 as well. This one coming up with Elden Ring is also $40, so it's not unusual. But these two games, the expansions are what I consider for real expansions because you get. I'm very worried as you're concerned about the $40 price tag. I'm more concerned with the $10 DLCs. I hate those because those $10 DLCs generally tend to be like a couple skins, a couple gun skins, and maybe some like bullshit arcade option with the game. Like it's very rare where you get an actual good DLC for $10 where it actually expands the story or gives you more. Which to me, that's what a DLC should be. A DLC should be basically like an PS when you're writing a letter, like, oh, PS, and then continue on. Not this fucking bullshit where you pay 10, $15 and they give you a couple skins and, one of the levels of the game, they remake it a little bit or move things around so that it becomes more arcadey. Kind of like the Alan Wake DLC that just dropped. Now they gave you uh three parts of the DLC, but each level is like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour if you go slow and explore shit, but you really shouldn't because there's nothing to explore. There's no pickups, there's no nothing like there is in a regular game. So like I got done with the first part, which was the the waitress from the diner. It was like 40 minutes. The next one, I'm not done with it yet, but it's the one from Control, the Jesse from Control. And then the
yes,
third one, I forget what it is. But that add-on costs, if you bought the deluxe edition, it's included. But if you didn't, then you have to pay, I think it's $20 for that. To me, that's not worth it at all. And well, it's not worth it in the sense that the amount of gameplay there is. Now, if it was longer and more into the story, I would say even the DLC is better than the damn game. It plays a little bit better. The gun action is better. You get basically unlimited ammo during these levels, so you can really go hand with the weapons. I liked it for those reasons, but it was very short.
hmm. So maybe it is something that has to change with me because like I don't know. How much was the wait, the God of War DLC was free, wasn't it?
Yeah, Valhalla. Yeah.
Valhalla,
Okay,
yeah.
that was free. May- Maybe that's part of my problem is that I get DLC for free. Or it's like I already bought the deluxe edition, like with Spider-Man 1. I'd already pre-purchased the DLC. But maybe it's just something that has to change with me. I don't know. As it gets closer, I'm probably going to end up getting it day one because now that I've played Diablo 4, I have to continue playing Diablo 4 to see how it goes and where it goes. And
And mind you, Thirsty, one more last thing. There's gonna be a completely new region. It's gonna be like a rainforest kind of region.
I know, I
So
know.
this is probably gonna be a pretty big expansion.
It's going to take us back to what. So, one of the things while playing Diablo, dear God, one of the things while playing Diablo 4 that I noticed was that they didn't have the rainforest region that they had in D2, but they've had some other regions of the same, or they've, mentioned some of the other regions. And so I was like, oh, cool, maybe Act 3 is I think Act 3 is where Act 2 takes place in Diablo 2, or it's the same kind of deserty area. And so like that it's really exciting to me as a Diablo fan of all the games to see how they're doing that, and then with this one to see that they are bringing in that rainforest area. That area was a bitch because it was so big. It was massive. It was Act 3, I believe, in Diablo 4, and it or Diablo 2, and it was massive. That section took forever. Which, if it would have done what D4 did and put the fast travel points so like there's so many fast travel points in D4, and D2 didn't have that. Hell, D3 didn't have that. So one of the things I do like that they added to it was that. But anyways, back to the games because we are running out of time. Um, I don't know. I'll probably end up getting it day one because I love Diablo, and I now that I've played it finally, uh, I'll justify it by saying, let's see, I got the game for $20. Um, Vessel of Hatred is 40. That's 60. I still like I'll do some stupid thing in my brain to justify it to myself. Because, like you said, I'm kind of my own worst enemy when it comes to this to Vessel of Hatred. I'm gonna
You'll talk yourself into it.
I will. I will. I know myself, and I know that once Diablo gets its hands in me, like it doesn't leave for a while. Like that's why I'm excited to play other games that look like it because I fell onto the hype train again. And so it just so happened that PoE 2 released their trailer while I was on the Diablo hype train. So now I'm like all in. Same thing with V
Yeah.
Rising. Same thing with a couple of the other games that I saw announced. Like uh, Will made a joke in the thing, like, "Hey man, not in the Discord, not every single game can be a top-down game." Like, shut up. That's not. That's just where I'm at right now in my brain. Like, so I'm gonna skip the
Not
next
not
two.
everyone, but all
Right.
the ones that I like
But
are.
but all the ones that I like, like, okay, I'm gonna skip that. It's a multiplayer. I don't really feel like talking about it. I don't do survival games, and then we have a Souls-like coming out, and then Assassin's Creed. And I am going a little fast because we have a whole nother show to get to that I want to talk about some of those games as well. Um, so Assassin's Creed Shadows got a gameplay trailer, and here it is. And God dang it, Ubisoft.
Oh,
Did your
yes.
father ever
Okay,
tell you
we're
why
gonna
my
skip to
brothers
gameplay
gave
because
me
that's what
together?
matters. We all know that Ubisoft can do cutscenes.
Their soldiers killed everyone.
Do not deserve
Okay.
to keep it.
First of all, that right there was badass. Like just that whole look of him
To abuse their power.
right there,
Deserve
just that right there. Also, I'm hearing an echo coming through. Um, that right there looks freaking sick. And so, anyways, keep going. Will, I think I'm getting some feedback through your mic or through yours.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the screen. Oh, wait, nope, there it is. I
Yep.
might be on massive delay.
It is.
This game looks so good.
Shut up. It's gonna be shit. Be quiet.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Shut it. I don't want it to be good. Oh, because I hate Ubisoft. But let me rephrase that. I hate the bastardization that they've done to the Assassin's Creed franchise.
We will bring justice back to
But
the
this
people.
game
So
looks
you're
great.
the original trilogy.
Yes, I am.
I'm completely opposite. I'm all new trilogy.
Oh my god. Okay, so that game looks fucking sick. That game looks awesome. I know
Like Valhalla was my favorite, so this is right up my alley.
Valhalla can get put in a toilet or a blender for all I care. I hated that fucking game.
Oh,
I
it was
loved it.
awesome.
It took too damn long. And yes, I know, Will, you don't have to do
Your
everything.
fault.
Sorry. I do have to do everything. Unless it's something stupid, like I don't collect the 1,000 feathers. I've never done any of those. I don't collect 100 note cards. Like I don't do that shit. But like quest, missions, building your base. My base was freaking awesome. I was recruiting people to like sail with me, and you could like recruit your buddies' characters if they were on your friends list. You'd pop in, you'd be able to recruit them. Like it was awesome. And then
That little weapon she has on the chain with the blade, she's cutting down the little bamboos.
uh-huh.
That gave me big like old God of War style vibes there.
Like there is a ton of really cool stuff that you can do in that. Uh, but I realized I was like 40 to 50 hours in, and I was no closer to expanding the story or the map than where I was at about the 15-hour mark. And yes, is that my fault for how I play video games? Sure, but that also means not every game is going to be for me. Like Far Cry, I can't do it. I tried. Far Cry 5, I played. Wonderful story. The freaking family in that is so menacing and maniacal. They're freaking great. Uh, but I spent probably 30, 40 hours in the first, not the island, not like the intro spot,
Nope, in the South region.
in the south region. I spent so much damn
Oh, yeah, I
time.
mean it's got three basic big parts of the map. You got the south, you got the northeast, and then you got the northwest, and then you have the main like final boss island off to the side. But yeah, you started out in the south where everybody does.
Yep, and I completed everything. When I tell you everything, I did 100% of that area, except for the stuff that you had to come back and do. I
Did
did.
you ever play Far Cry 3?
Oh, I did. And I
Oh,
beat
Far
the
Cry 3 was by far my favorite out of any Far Cry they've ever done before then or after.
because it wasn't too big. Like
Oh, it was great.
that's my problem with a lot of these games. It's not that the gameplay is bad, it's that it's just a little long in the tooth. Like Far Cry 3,
Far Cry
I had the
3
whole
kept you
tattoo,
engaged the entire time.
and it kept you
The
engaged
entire
because you
time.
never knew after what mission or what you did if you were going to black out and end up back talking to somebody or something strange happening to you, and it always seemed to come out of nowhere. Um, Warawana, yes, I have somewhere to be. It's called On to the Next Game. That's, he said, Thrifty, hang on, not that. Where was it? Valhalla too long? You got somewhere to be? Yes, yes, I do. To On to the Next Game. Uh, but with games like Far Cry 3, that game did keep my attention. It felt, and it was different than anything I had played up to that point. Like the story was different, and so that I really liked because I never played any of the other Far Cries, and so that game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Back to Shadows, that game honestly looks really freaking good. Uh, the devs overdid it. Got to turn in. Michael, man, good seeing you tonight. Thanks for stopping by.
Take care,
Have a good
Michael.
night's rest. Uh, but yeah, so Assassin's Creed Shadows actually looks really good. Will, I know that you could go on a diatribe right now about how online only and all of that, and I respect you for that. But outside of that, do you have anything on Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Uh, I said I said this on the Discord. There's something about this game that I don't like. I'm not even talking about the whole Ubisoft thing because I'll play a game that I'm interested in. I don't, at the end of the day, I'll get it in a way where I'm not supporting the devs directly,
Hmm.
so that's not an issue. But it's just something about this game rubs me the wrong way. I can't really pinpoint what it is. Um, One thing that I did bring up on the Discord is like the samurai. He's huge. Like this dude is like 6'5". Like he's like a freaking linebacker, and then he's swinging a melee weapon. And in the gameplay video, it's taking like multiple hits to knock out or kill some of these dudes. And I'm like, dude, if this dude swings on a 5'5" freaking Japanese dude, you know, with a big ass melee weapon and doesn't knock him out in one hit, what? And I know that's something super nitpicky. It's a video game. I say this all the time. Video games are just that, right? You could be in a freaking unicorn while riding down, Japan of that time as a freaking alien samurai, and it's just a game. But so I'm not nitpicking that part. It's just one more thing that added to my suspiciousness of the game. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I can't pinpoint anything. It's just the way that I feel. And my remember, guys, I purchased day one, Avatar Frontier. I've also purchased day one, or not day one, but month one, the motorsport game they came out with. I purchased uh, Prince of Persia day one. I even games that are not known like Valiant Heart. It's a Ubisoft published game. I bought that. The only reason I didn't get that day one was because I didn't know it was even out. I also got day one Skull and Bones. Now, true, I got that at a steep discount. I got the hookup on it, but I still bought it. So for the people that may say, "Oh, Will's just being a hypocrite and a hater, whatever," dude, I purchased just about actually every single Ubisoft game that's come out this year, day one, including Assassin's Creed Mirage, except for those couple that I mentioned. So when you have invested into Ubisoft as much as I have, then you can say that my gut feeling is fucking stupid. But we'll leave it at that. The game does look nice. One concern that I do have, though, now this is in general, and I'll ask you guys, RPG and Thrifty. This is what, the third or fourth game with samurais in Japan that's come out in the last couple years
Hmm.
from big AAA, budget games. Do you think this will have any effect whatsoever into people's excitement for Ghost of Tsushima too?
Uh,
Uh,
I don't,
we're,
but
we're really gonna have to see what it does
yeah.
when day one gets here. We're gonna have to see the gameplay. We're gonna have to see the story. And by the time that this game comes out, I have a feeling we're gonna know a lot about Ghost of Tsushima 2. I see that one getting announced in the next couple months. So there's gonna be that overlap.
Yeah, and I
Will
think
it get released? No, it won't get released anytime soon before I would say summer 2025.
oh, I was gonna say
But
before I turned
I
87.
don't I don't think it's going to hurt Assassin's Creed.
No, no,
And
no.
I don't
He's
think
saying is
Assassin's
No, no,
Assassin's
Creed
no.
Creed.
is
Okay.
going to hurt Ghost of Tsushima. I think they're two completely different ones. By the time that we get to Ghost, everybody's going to be done with Assassins.
Well,
They're going to
it's
be
not
they're
about
going to put it
Assassin's Creed in
away.
specific. It's about the genre in specific. Like, are people going to be tired? Do you think Sucker Punch is taking too long? And because look, as soon as Ghost came out and Sekiro, I'll throw Sekiro in there because even though I don't like Sekiro because of the Souls aspect of it, those two games were bangers. Both two games could have easily won Gotti, right? Game of the Year. Easily, hands down. But that genre was sorely lacking up until those two games. And even then, we had a shit ton of comparison between Sekiro and Ghost, right? So now that we are a few years in and we've got a lot more of these games, now I'm wondering, is it gonna be samurai fatigue, especially with Assassin's Creed being the latest installment in the whole samurai genre?
It very well might, but we will not know until we get there.
Yeah, because there are quite a bit of
Really,
samurai games that have come out that are out. I mean, like Wulong Fallen Dynasty was one.
that's another one.
Sekiro, you
It's
already
Sony dragging
mentioned.
their ass.
Right. Well, probably, but is it going to affect them? I doubt it. Like if all they
It
have to
won't affect the
do,
day one PlayStation fans, but they need more than just the hardcore to make this game
I
successful.
don't think it's going to
I
affect anybody who's a fan of Ghost of Tsushima.
I think it is comparable to what was that Sony? Was it the Sony show last year or the year and a half ago that played a bunch of space games, and everybody's like, "Why is everything a space game? Like we got too many space games." I was Dead Space, and it was the Fort game.
Callisto Protocol.
Uh, yeah, it was like there was probably I think like 5 or 6 games that were just purely space, and then we got this possible game coming from Corey, being a sci-fi, and then we got Starfield that dropped, and so it might get oversaturated. And by the time that it does drop, we might be like, oh well, we're all samurai'd out, ninja'd out. It's not hitting like when Ghost hit.
I don't know. I don't.
Said with the zombie genre, right? When
Yeah,
Last of Us
yeah.
came out, it became a huge hit. And what did we see for the next decade was zombies. I mean, it got to the point where people were vocally being against anything having to do with zombies. And I just think that the reason I'm asking this is because I'm such a huge fan, right? And it doesn't matter how many samurai games come out, nobody could do it like Sucker Punch does. Not only with their storytelling, but their combat, their open world, how gorgeous the game is. Also, it being a PlayStation first party game, which automatically adds a level of quality that very hard to come by in the industry, right? Even in comparison to big publishers like EA and Activision and Ubisoft and all these other, multi-billion dollar publishers. There's something about that PlayStation, quality that is very hard to compete with. But the
Mm,
hardcore aren't going to be the only ones to be able to keep this game alive, And I mean, I'm probably end up skipping Assassin's Creed, and if I do play, it'll probably be, second hand or third hand after the fact. But I think RPG's right where with the space thing, it worries me because I don't want this to be the last Ghost of Tsushima that we get, you know. And we all know what happened at that's a game by Bend, the zombie game.
Days Gone.
Oh,
Uh,
Days Gone.
Days Gone. I mean, shit, they sold 10 million, and Sony still put them on ice. So we know that it's not just the sales things with Sony. They have a certain pedigree that they would like to uphold, and it's more than just sales numbers. It's a lot of other, into the equation.
So one of the things that Nelson in the chat said that I kind of want to highlight because I think if any I think if any game can kind of mess over at all or has a shot to Ghost of Tsushima, it's Phantom Blade. And so Nelson said, hopefully, Phantom Blade and Ghost are not close in release. And
Oh, they
I
won't
think
be.
that that would be more of an issue than a Ubisoft Assassin's Creed title versus, or like that being Samurai. That's fine. When Valhalla came out, you got so many Viking style games or Viking themed games afterwards. Um,
Yep.
and it's because
Valheim.
there's a hype train, right? And that's fine. And once that hype train dies down, usually it's from a smaller studio that does a game that it just didn't it didn't work. They didn't do it. The production quality wasn't there, or the gameplay wasn't there, or it was too cookie cutter, or it was just a clone of something else that came before it. I don't think we're going to have a problem like that with Ghost of Tsushima 2. And so I don't think when you look at Ghost of Tsushima 2, I think you're going to have to see it as, yes, it is a samurai story, but it is absolutely pulling on the success of the first one. And Hero said it. He said, "Yes, Will, you're right with the genre fatigue, but the number one will most likely have greater pull than all else." Basically, meaning all of these other games that have come out that are samurai genre are basically all under Ghost of Tsushima, which also means they'll be under Ghost of Tsushima 2.
And I agree with that, but now I'm looking
Yep.
at it as a skeptic, right? So, for example, I remember asking my mom when I was a kid for, I think it was like Super Mario Paper or some shit like that. And she says, I'm not gonna buy that game. You already have 5 other Super Mario games. How many more Super Mario games do you want?
All of them.
She doesn't know that, yeah, they're all Mario, but they're all different genres. They're all different, it's all different. It's just because
Oh,
it's
I
got
see
that
what you're
Super
saying.
Mario attached. So the general gamer, the casual, they don't know that Ghost of Tsushima is an action adventure game, narrative driven, versus like a Sekiro that is Souls like. They're not gonna know that. They just know that it's a samurai game, and I've already played 4 samurai games in the last 2 years. I don't need another samurai game. And by the time word of mouth comes out, if it does come out that the game is phenomenal, and it has to be phenomenal, then that sale won't count until way later, which could be when it's on sale or past that first initial, the very first month where PlayStation is really looking at the performance of this game. So that's why I bring this up. It's not for gamers like us because we know that Sekiro and Ghost are 2 completely different games. Phantom Blade will probably be a completely different game, and Assassin's Creed is another completely different game. But in general consensus with the casual gamer, to them, it's all just a samurai game.
Hmm. I I tracked more with what you said at the beginning than what you said at the end because I could easily see
It's the same
a
thing.
mom or a grandma go in there and looking to get her son, daughter, whatever, a gift for birthday, Christmas, what have you, and she looks at, you know, Assassin's, or let's say they bought Assassin's Creed over the holiday and now it's the kid's birthday, and they go back in there and go, "Oh, well, no, he already has a samurai game," and then puts it right back down. So I definitely see that. I think even casual gamers, your big series they've heard of. Like, I think even casual gamers, you can ask a casual about Diablo and they'll be able to tell you what type of game it is. There's
I disagree 1,000%. I have 5 casual gamers in my family right now that I ask these questions to, and not one of them knows Diablo. Not only one of them knows Ghost, and that's because I talk about it all the time. As a matter of fact, they
so now
bought that Marvel card game because they thought it was gonna be like a Spider-Man game. They had no idea that it was a card game, and once they bought it, they regretted it and they couldn't return it.
oh god, maybe I'm not friends with any casuals.
I mean, even my son who's more
It's not a
experienced
bad
and
thing.
he, no, no, it's not a bad thing at all. But what I'm saying is that we guys, we're talking about the news, like gaming news. Like who does that? You know, hardcore gamers do. We do. It's the same people in here every week. It's the same people that are here right now, the same people on the Discord. Like growth is pretty slow in these YouTube channels unless you're like a super, like just like coming out with a sales video or a gameplay video, because somebody's stuck somewhere. But just like, and even you, Thrifty, you know this, when you review a game versus having the podcast, what is the viewership like between the two? You know?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that's interesting. Just going off on that a little bit, the I have gotten like 90% of my subscribers through my YouTube videos and not through the live show, which is why my subscriber growth had that big boost when I was trying to hit 500. People rallied, got me there, did all of that. But then now that we're out of that, my subscriber growth last month was like eight people total. So plus eight was the subscriber growth last month. After you gain some, you lose some, blah blah blah. That is the lowest month I have ever had on the channel. And the
Well, how
reason
many videos have you dropped?
exactly, I was going to say the reason why is because I haven't dropped a lot of videos, and I haven't dropped a lot of review videos either. So even my couple first impression videos didn't do that well. And I think the reason why, there's two reasons. One, I don't get the games early. Okay, so doing a first impression on a game that you don't get early doesn't really draw in people. Two, they're newer games, so when you cover newer games, you are competing in a space that is absolutely packed. And so people already have their folks that they watch. Hell, I'm one of them. When a new game comes out, I check a couple sources, and it's like down to three now that I check for reviews. One of them I check because it's comedic relief when I watch their reviews. But like two guys I trust to go, okay, if this guy says the game is good, I am more than likely going to give it a chance. If it's a game I'm on the fence about. But those guys get these games early. And they're able, because it is their full-time job, to play these games, get all their videos out, and get that first wave. So that's why I think that my Diablo 4 video that God dang, I'm hoping to have it out by the end of the week. Because my wife's out of the house tomorrow night, and so I will be sitting down and hopefully finishing Act 3. I have two little missions left in Act 3. And then after I finish, I'm going to go ahead and do my review of it and put it up. It'll be finding the game on sale type of review, and those type of videos do well because, as Will has pointed out before, those are timeless. Like, there is going to be somebody that wants to know if they see the game somewhere and they're like, huh, I hear stuff about this, I've heard it in passing, I wonder if this game is good. And then because my videos are always titled game whatever, is it worth it in 2024? Is it worth it in 2025? Is it worth it? Is it good? Like, those are always like my titles because those are the questions people want to know. If I'm going to spend $25 or $30 on a game I find on sale, or even $5, then I want to know that I'm spending the money properly. And so I look at reviews, and a lot of other people do too. That's why my largest review on my channel is The Ascent. I think it has over like 30,000 views on it or something. Or that might be a different video. I know I have a couple that are over 15, 20,000. I think I have one over 30. And that video consistently gets me 900 to 1,000 views a month and a couple subscribers. And it is a super indie game. It's also extremely fun, and it's always on sale for like $5 to $10. And if you have not played The Ascent, you need to freaking play it. Anyways, that aside, like, it's so yeah, you're right. Doing the videos absolutely helps, but I don't even know how we got on that. But yeah, it's a is Jez one
We
of
got
the
on that because the casual
oh yeah,
gamers aren't listening to their outlook in games aren't like how we view them, where we
yes,
look in depth and we know that there's differences between the same type of game. Where casuals don't, man. They just see the cover art, kind of like when we were kids, man. We look at the cover art. If it's cool enough, all right, cool, this is it. Not knowing nothing about it, not knowing if it was a difficult game or a platformer, whatever, turn-based, we didn't know. And that's how a lot of us discovered shit. JRPGs. Your dad took you to Blockbuster one time, and the cover art looked cool. You didn't know shit about it. You popped it in, and it ended up being Final Fantasy VII. You're like, oh shit, this blows my mind. Or if you're like me, you're like, fuck, I wasted my one rental that I can get for the month on this bullshit. And
That's
I don't
so
think
true.
things are as severe now, right? With the advent of technology and being able to do more research, and you got, your phone. But, like the casuals that I have in my life, these dudes, they're not Googling games. If they're Googling on a game, it's because they know Spider-Man is coming out and they don't know when. Or they saw a game somewhere that interests them and they don't know if they can get it on their console and they'll Google that. But as far as is it action adventure, a puzzle game, they're not Googling for that stuff. They're not looking for that stuff. And another thing,
They're seeing a trailer and they're saying, "Hey, that looks cool,"
that looks
and
cool.
I will buy it, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll say about that is because up until 2019, I was the same exact fucking way, man. I played Call of Duty, MLB The Show. That's it. As a matter of fact, quick story about Death Stranding. Death Stranding came out. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know Kojima. I didn't know anything. I just thought it looked cool. I took it home from GameStop. I popped it in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? After an hour, I took it out. I went to GameStop. I traded it in for something else. I lost like $20. Just an hour difference. Me, Will, a guy who's been playing video games since I was a kid. Only generation that I really didn't play games was the PS3 because I was in the military and I was too busy and I really didn't have time and I used my PS3 as a Blu-ray player. That's it. Even the beginning of the PS4 generation, all I played was MLB The Show, Call of Duty, and Grand Theft Auto, right? I didn't play Last of Us till like 2020 or 2019 or some shit like that. So that's what I would do. I would go to GameStop, look at the cover. Oh, this looks interesting
Hmm.
and buy it. And that's what casuals do, man. They're not looking into it. So when I say about the genre stuff with Ghost, I think it's the same exact thing. But we'll see, right?
You might be right. We are going to move on to the next show. If we do not get to Phil Spencer's interview, which right now it is 10 minutes before normal stop time, but if we don't get to Phil Spencer's interview, um, I will do another show probably on Saturday. No, that's D&D night. Probably on Sunday night. Just do another thoughts with Thrifty and break down my thoughts on that because I have quite a few. But I have been trying to get one of these shows to be about video games mainly for like the past 3 weeks. And with the two showcases, the two Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase, it's given us the opportunity to do that. So I am not apologetic about being able to talk about video games on a video game channel. Uh, I know that the Phil Spencer stuff will bring in views and get likes and more engagement, probably, but this is important. Like, these are video games that are coming out that we're excited about, that are reminding us of other video games. Thoughts. Hang on. Thoughts on what? Thoughts. Thoughts. Hang on. I'm looking, Outsider. Give me a sec. Twisted Sin. I love the game. Just wish it was this. The greatest hits is what the U.S. called them, and they're called Platinum Collection here. Oh, okay. And he said thoughts. Last of Us early. Dude, I'm not Outsider. I'm not seeing where if you asked a question or if you said something. Anyways, Zero, you have a good night, man. And also somebody else said they were leaving. Twisted Sin, thanks for stopping by, dude. Uh, Kingdom Hearts 2, saw Mickey, Donald, and Goofy on the cover, wanted it absolutely. So real quick on that, I fully remember being a kid picking up a Super Nintendo game at Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster. What was the other one? Hollywood Video. And like all you had was the case. You did. I'm not. That's it. You had a little picture of the game like cartridge. And based off of that picture alone is what you had to make your decision off of. Later on, you had the case that you would take up to them, and then they would give you the rental. But when you had the case, I used to always flip it over on the back and like, okay, experience the greatest action adventure game ever. Blah blah blah. Follow these people through space and time. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. That sounds fun. And then you pop it in, and you're like, oh, wait, this game runs like shit. And like Will, I literally had like it wasn't one a month, but it was once every week for me, and I would be like, well, shit, man. Now I've wasted that, and I ain't got crap to play because I didn't own a lot of my games. I rented them because we were broke and couldn't afford. Well, bad money management led to us not being able to afford to buy the games that I was really interested in, so I had to rent them. If they just would have looked at me and I would have been smarter and like I would have actually listened, because at one time my dad was like, "Hey, why don't you save up your money and instead of renting a game every week, like go buy one that you know you're really going to want." And I was like, no, 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 I just want to keep renting them because I'm stupid. So, anyways, live and learn. But, Will, you're right. Now we have so many more things that stop us from making those type of decisions, even just built into the console, right? Just built into the PS5, you have demos, you have gameplay clips from other players, you have ways that you can do that. But once again, is a casual really going to take the time to do that? Probably not. But let's get on to Summer Games Fest because there were not as many games at Summer Games Fest that I was really excited about or that I thought really had a presence worth talking about. First one I do want to bring up, though, is Lego Horizon Adventures. It's coming to PS5. That, I don't play Lego games. I don't. I've tried. I've played a few of them before in the past, but I just don't do Lego games. But I know a lot of people do. That's why there's 37 of them, and there's not actually 37. That's just, hyperbole. But like a lot of people play them. That's why they keep getting made. And so I said this before and I'll say it again. Cat Quest 3 is coming out, meaning Cat Quest 1 and 2 sold enough to warrant another one. And that's not a knock on the game. That's just how it works. I look at that game and I go, that's not really for me. But hearing like 3 or 4 of the people in the Discord go, man, Cat Quest was actually really fun, it has me wanting to get the game now. Because I'm like, all right, well, if this many people are saying it's good, then
Hey, Thrifty, play it with your son, man. It's local co-op, and it's just a cool game, man. Me and my son platinum the first one.
oh wait, it's local co-op. Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think the game
At least
regularly.
two is. I don't remember the first one is.
Well, I think Cat Quest 2 right now is actually on sale.
They're
Uh,
always on sale. They're like a couple bucks.
I know they're always there. But so Lego Horizon Adventures, it looks fun, looks good, looks like they're going to have a great time using the IP. And if you didn't catch the release of this today, um, they released the slate for PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra, and we are getting some Lego games in that as well. So yeah, pretty cool. That kind of see how did they get this? How did they do that? What did the deal look like? Well, I'm pretty sure part of the deal that they made with the licensing agreement was, hey, let's put some of these Lego games into our subservice. A lot of people play Lego games. This would be a great ad. And so now we have 3 coming this month to the subservice, which is just great because people have been talking about Lego. People have obviously been talking about Lego games, and just a good way for that whole for that to kind of work together in tandem. And we talk about it all the time. PlayStation Plus is used a lot as an advertising machine and as part of marketing. And so really happy to see them doing that. The next one that I'm going to talk about because I know some people are excited about it, the Quidditch Champions Harry Potter game. That is a 100% pass for me. I am not planning on touching that game. Uh, Everybody could come out and say it was the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm still not going to play that game. I do not like the art style of it. It looks like a mobile title. I do not want to see it. I do not want to play it. I don't care about it. But Will,
I'm in
Gameplay,
complete
right?
agreement with you on that one.
were you one of the
Didn't
ones that said it looked at that like you wanted to play it?
no, I never said that, but they didn't even show gameplay of it. So how can you make up your mind?
Have you seen the art style of it? It looks like it was made by NetEase.
That's just CGI, bro.
Don't care.
It's not even
If that's the CGI, how bad does the game look?
Well, these are the same people that made the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Portkey?
I don't understand how you can just dismiss a game without even seeing the gameplay at least.
Here's why. Here, let's.
I want you to
Good
take
God,
me to the
ads.
future.
We'll see how the gameplay looks when it gets a little bit closer. But right now, as initially how it looks, I'm not really interested in this one.
It looks like a freaking mobile game.
But
So
you know, we're judging a book by the
Well,
cover.
Diablo looks like a mobile game. A lot of these top-down games look like mobile games. Actually, a lot of them have mobile, games that you can play on the side.
I get that. It's something about this art style. I hate it. I've always hated this art style.
But it's a cartoon. It's like a TV
Eh,
show. It's not even a video game yet.
uh-uh.
Or we didn't see the video game parts of it.
Okay, so here, yes, made by the same people. So here is the trailer for this one. Look at the art style and all that. And now wait for it. Wait for it. Because here's what the difference is. I can't spell.
Yeah, I was hoping for more Hogwarts Legacy art style than
Yeah.
this art style.
Here you go. Here's the difference.
Gameplay, though. So we don't know
Yeah.
what it's going to look like.
We do not. And plus, this looks like it's bringing a lot of the characters from the original Harry Potter instead of the Hogwarts. Yeah.
And so,
It'll
Look,
be
I
interesting.
agree with you guys. I'm just saying, like, we haven't seen any gameplay whatsoever. We can't
right.
make a decision based off just a CGI trailer.
Okay, graphically speaking is what I'm harping on. It is not a
Yeah,
game
but that's not what we're
graphically,
gonna see, though.
But so here's cutscenes in Hogwarts Legacy. Here is the cinematic trailer for Hogwarts Legacy. See how everything looks? See how pretty it looks? See the use of lighting and shadows and the way the faces look normal and people don't look like they've been paintbrushed?
Yeah, but that's gameplay.
No,
That's in engine.
this is a CGI.
This is in engine stuff, though.
Yeah, so you're telling me that none of this.
All this you see in the game.
So you're telling me that none of this over here, you don't think that this is a opening sequence or anything like that. You think that that's not like a victory pose in game.
Well, all this stuff is in the game, though. Like the Quidditch stuff, it could be in game, but we just haven't seen it yet. This is in engine. This right here is just literally a digital artist made this for a trailer. This is a trailer for
All right,
something that's coming
I'll
up.
withhold my judgment a little longer, but this game looks like dog water to me.
I just think with our experience, we should be making up our mind when we see the gameplay. Because even if they said we have even if they came out with a CGI that said pony versus pony, you guys are gonna butt each other in the head, and the first one of three butts wins. Yeah, who the hell wants to play that? But then if we look at the gameplay trailer and all of a sudden these ponies look badass and it's more than actually just butting each other, then yeah, I want to check that game out. I just don't think it's fair for any game. Now, going back to the Assassin's Creed, I saw
This is for
gameplay.
you.
I even gave an example of what I didn't like when the melee, and it's unrealistic and whatever. I at least saw gameplay. Previously, I didn't say shit about how I like it or didn't like it because it was just CGI when they first made the announcement. I held my excitement for it or my non-excitement because there was no gameplay. And that's what we talk about all the time, right? Gameplay first. Even me who loves graphics, I still agree that gameplay first and then everything else. So I just don't want to dismiss anything, no matter what it is, just because of a CGI trailer, including Concord.
Warawana said, honestly, we are arguing over Quidditch. No, we're not. We're going to stop now. So, talking about gameplay, let's go into another Ubisoft title that was revealed or not revealed, but was given another spot at the showcase, the Summer Games Fest. And that is Star Wars Outlaws.
Let's raise the stakes, shall we?
You know, if they keep it to where you don't have to look at her face, it doesn't look terrible.
The game looks fun.
And supposedly this
wonder
is
how,
gameplay.
I just wonder how. Yeah, I just wonder how well it's gonna perform. I'm not sure what engine it's running on. I'm imagining. I'd have to look it up. It's got to be the Ubi engine.
Well, it should run well, just like every single Ubisoft game that's come out with the last 2-3 years. Every single
Right.
one of these games has come run really well. And the biggest thing that has me concerned about this is that all the big like YouTubers and all the, like video game people, they got to play this game behind the scenes and got to,
Anvil,
check it
yeah,
out.
Anvil.
And they're all saying they like it. And the last time I heard that was with Cyberpunk, and I'm just wary of these fucking guys because we know that they couldn't even get the Cuphead freaking tutorial done. IGN over here can't play the DLC because only 30-some% of people beat the damn boss that needs to get into the DLC. So that has me concerned. I would actually, I would expect more of, some like it, some hate it, pros and cons, but everybody's speaking very positively about it. Really has a question mark over my head.
It's also a massive title. I mean, Massive's behind Outlaws, and Massive does really good work. So, I mean, that's a plus in its corner.
Yeah.
With Outlaws, I do not see myself even being a massive title. I don't see myself buying this day one. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna let the reviews come in. I'm gonna see the scores, and I'll make my case from there. But it is definitely not a day one for me as a gamer, as my interest level. And that's not taking away from anything or from anybody who's interested or is like, this is going to be my big game for the last half of 2024. It looks great.
So,
but it doesn't have that hook for me.
Speaking of purchasing games day one, I have the next game that we're going to talk about, and it is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, because it looks absolutely phenomenal.
It looks so much better than Kakarot.
Hey, you bite your tongue. I love Kakarot. But yes,
Kakarot
it does look a whole lot better.
So much better.
I
love Kakarot, but this looks great.
So here we go. We can just watch this one. I'm sure GameSpot won't mind.
Now my question is, wasn't there some controversy with the live service aspect around this game?
Well, probably. If it has a live service aspect, then yes, probably. There's always
Or the difference between Astrobot and Star Wars is that also Star Wars has been going through a big problem with their TV shows and the IP in general. And secondly, Astrobot is from PlayStation. I mean, come on now. We're comparing PlayStation to Ubisoft? No.
I hate the title, by the way, Sparking Zero. No,
yeah,
I hate that title.
They do that a lot. I don't know if that has to do with the like the books or like what, because I've never heard Sparking Zero in any televised media of Dragon Ball ever. And so I don't know. I know that they use weird titles sometimes, but excuse me. Let's just watch this. Will, this is an Unreal Engine, by the way.
Is it 4 or 5?
That I don't know.
That's going to be a big difference whether it's in 4 or 5, because we know that the 5 is having a lot more issues than 4.
Honestly, it looks 4.
I'm hoping that it's 4, just because, like I said, with the issues that 5's having.
Is it on PS4? Because if it's on PS4, it's a big likelihood it's Unreal Engine 4. But it doesn't take much to make these games look good either.
That's true.
I'm ready to go back through the entire story again.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they streamline it to get to more of the super stuff faster. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
we can cut the BS out like Kakarot had.
right.
I don't need to go through all these little side missions and collecting orbs and all this other stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Give me the story and make the big events like the Frieza, the Cell, the Oob, or not the Oob, but the Boo saga. Make all those final boss missions and big stories just over the top.
So this game, if there's not something else that comes out, this game will probably end up being my third full purchase of the year because Budokai and Budokai 2 were two of my favorite games. They're actually two of my favorite Dragon Ball games, and I played Japanese Dragon Ball games on the Super Nintendo through an emulator long time ago. And I loved those stupid games because they were a story. You got to, like, you were walking around. It was almost like almost like a Chrono Trigger type of game, but Dragon Ball characters, and it was awesome. And Budokai reminded me a lot of that with the storytelling, with the fighting, and so obviously not graphically speaking at all, because those are two totally different things. But I'm freaking excited about this, and I cannot wait for it to come out. It's going to be a great, great game, and it's one of those things where I don't even have to like question that it's going to be a great game. From some of the gameplay we just saw, from some of the trailer footage, it looks awesome, and it looks like they're going to highlight a lot of stuff, even stuff that's like past where they've been before, which in the Budokai games, that's always, instead of like releasing a DLC, what they did was they just continued the story. And so I'm so excited. Cannot wait for that. Um, the next one, Will, I think you have a VR set. So how do you feel about Arkham Shadow?
Um, I'm not that's the Batman one, right?
That is the Batman one.
I really don't give a shit about Batman. I really don't give a shit about T. I'm not gonna get that. I do own a MetaQuest as well. But no, I don't. I really don't give a shit about none of that stuff.
Okay. RPG, do you have a VR?
I had a VR. I had a PSVR too. I actually sold it.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
I will not be participating in the Shadow.
okay. Well, on to the next one. That's just a crossover. Okay. Here is one that absolutely it has my money day one. 100%. No questions about it. I saw this and it was one of the few things at the show that actually like made me super happy. And it is a commercial. Okay. So this is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. I cannot wait. Like, it looks so good. I want to play this with every single person who will, like, link up with me. I don't care. This is going to be an amazingly fun time. Will, RPG, what do y'all think?
I I'm not really big into the game. It doesn't look like a me game. If
Okay.
I got invited out to play it, yeah, I would probably jump in, hop in, and play it. But it is not something that I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy. You know, day one, I might pick it up inside the subsystem or on a real steep discount through the PSN. But not going to be something I'm going to be there day one with. I've done my Power Ranger thing years and years and years ago.
Okay.
But it
I'm
does
the
it
other way
does have that
around.
Streets of Rage kind of look to
It
it.
it reminds me of Ninja Turtles with Power
So
Rangers.
first we got
I
Teenage
think it looks
Mutant
better than
Ninja
the Ninja
Turtles.
Turtle one, and I hate two bit games or one bit games. I just don't like them. I'm like, we're in 2020, going on 2025. Like, I want my shit to look like how they look now. But this game looks good. It doesn't look as what I call fuzzy. It doesn't look as quite as squared up, where like pixelated,
Hmm.
which actually is a big bonus. And I'm not the biggest Power Ranger fan. I mean, I did watch them when I was a kid, and I did enjoy it, and I did have a crush on Kimberly, like I think most
Everybody did.
boys had.
Kimberly
But
and Trina.
so it's not
It
just because it's Power Rangers. Yeah, Kimberly. Yeah. And it's not just
it
because they're
does look
Power
crisp.
Rangers, but it looks crisp. The combat looks good, and I'm excited to see what they do with the IP, honestly, because I am waiting. Like Power Rangers, one of those IPs where I'm not like a huge fan of, but I'm just waiting for somebody to grab that game or that IP and do something incredible with it, man. Like there's just so many good IPs out there, and this is one of them. And I think that it's time, and I hope it does well. But I will be getting this day one as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a day one purchase for me. I love these type of games, and I like the IP, if that makes sense. Like, if they could have put this type of game with any other IP, and I probably would have jumped on it even if I was halfway familiar with it. Because I love these type of games. They take me back. It's why I have Shredder's Revenge. It's why I have Streets of Rage 4 even before it was on the subservice. It's why Double Dragon Neon interested me a lot. Because this was my era of gaming when I was a kid. So like seeing games like this that like you said Will and like you said RPG that look super crisp, so good, so good. So
Imagine if they give you the White Ranger and the Green Ranger as well.
oh my god, like if you beat it, like or if you have to find the Green Ranger and
It's
like
like the new
save
game
Tommy.
plus.
Oh, if you had to like save Tommy and oh my god, that'd be so cool. I actually would love that, to be honest. Uh, and oh man, they could do DLCs, they could do sequels, you could do Lord Zed, you could. Anyways, I am stoked by this. Um, but moving on, we've covered quite a few games in about 15-20 minutes. We've already talked about the Alan Wake 2 stuff. Skate, basically, it's still coming. Great. Valorant is coming to consoles. That actually has a chance to like make a splash. I don't play Valorant. I don't really. That's not my style of game. But I think that that is a really big get for consoles. Uh,
I think out of any of the hero shooters that are coming out, that's going to be the one that's going to actually hit.
I don't think you're wrong, and I wouldn't argue with you even if I did, because I think you have a good leg to stand on with that. There's something about the popularity of that game that's brought people or that's brought the studio to bring it to consoles, and generally companies don't do that unless it's a sure thing, because they're not going to spend the time and money porting it over to consoles if they don't think that the investment is worth it. And so I think it's going to make a good splash. I'm happy it's another game in that genre that can bring people over, but it's just not for me.
I
Uh,
actually think a little
Well,
bit different than that. I think that, well, I mean, I agree. I think that it's going to make a splash and all that, but I actually think that the reason it's coming to console is because they already got what they could out of the PC crowd, and now they're trying to milk it even more. And I don't think that the people that make Valorant have anything ready or are working on something new, but they're just trying to milk it. So console is the next logical step. I don't think that they're doing it because they think they can make a shit ton more money. I just think that they're trying to get a little bit more out of that IP.
and hey, you might very well be right. Like that's you might be just dead on accurate in what you're saying, and you might be right. But yeah, I think it could very well be the other side of that too, where they were doing just fine, and it's gonna Warrawana. What's your hot take? I'll wait for you to respond in there. But he said he had a hot take, so uh, I don't know. I think you're right, Will. I think that it could like, but I don't know. It's not a game that I really care about. I brought it up because
Yeah,
I
me
know
either.
people play hero shooters, and I know that like Valorant. So before I knew anything about PC gaming, I knew about CS:GO and I knew about Valorant. That's it. Those are the only two games. Oh, and Diablo 2. But like outside of that, I couldn't tell you what PC players were playing. But so it definitely
Banana
has
game, like Nelson said.
the banana game. Valorant waited for Concord to be announced to release their console port because they announced that in 2020 and it just so happened to come out after Concord was announced. Maybe.
That could be it too, dude. I think Concord is in real big trouble, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's in real big
it's got
trouble.
way too much competition.
Yeah.
So
Which
let's
good.
see.
Good. I'm glad. PlayStation should have thought about this shit before they done something like this. I'm so pissed off about this purchase and this decision. Come on, bro. Stick to your bread and butter, and then all the other additive shit is just additive shit. Don't make it a focus and give it a 15-minute freaking presentation on the state of play when the rest of your shit is crap. I'm sorry, that was my little rant.
No, you're totally fine. So we're gonna jump down a bit because the next few games either went to PC only or I don't care about them. And it's already 11:05. So Monster Hunter Wilds looks really, really good. Like it, and we just got Monster Hunter Rise announced for the PlayStation Plus, but for the premium and extra tiers, I hate that I have to keep doing that. Like, because I don't want people to think that it's on PS Plus Essential. And I know nobody here who's in the live show does, but there's 200 people that watch this after the live show, so I don't want anybody who hears this to get confused. But like this game looks really, really good. And Monster Hunter games is a franchise that I've kind of stayed away from, but every single entry that's been coming out, I get closer and closer to purchasing. Does that make
Yep,
sense? Like
I'm hoping Wilds is gonna have the hook that it needs to grab me. Because Monster Hunter World, I played it recently. I tried to get back into it. It just did not have the hook that it needed.
And I mean, yes,
Yeah.
that's important. I totally agree. Like, you need to have something that pulls you in. But, like, it looks really good. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, with what they're showing, it looks great. And it looks
Oh, yeah,
like it's going to be
it looks
super interesting and really fun. And if I can get in on the ground level, it won't feel so overwhelming when you hop back into Monster Hunter like I did with Monster Hunter World and was like, okay, nope.
Yeah, I agree. The game, and look, I'm never ever gonna say there shouldn't make a game only when I feel like it gets in front of something that I would like. But the game does look good. It looks really good. The graphics look good. I know the Monster Hunter people are gonna love this, and I'm happy for them. I just wish the combat was different. That would get me more involved in Monster Hunter. I mean, I did purchase Rise and Sunbreak combo that they had on sale a couple months ago for like 20 or 30 bucks. I got to the ship crashing part and that's it. Like but it looks good. It looks good and I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have another hit on their hands with the Monster Hunter series. It looks really good. So that was one that caught my eye, even more on the fence of than anything. And then this game right here was the other one that was really nice looking. And I'm going to screw up the spelling of it. So I'm going to have to go back to it. But, oh, nope, there it is. Thank you, YouTube. And so let's do this. Let's do the gameplay trailer.
See that
Because
beer cap?
gameplay is important.
It's the luckiest piece of metal in the world.
This game looks absolutely gorgeous. Just from the colors, the animations. This looks so good. And so, I'm going to try to say this. It's Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. And yeah, it looks. I'm really interested in this one.
Isn't this game the survival builder game too?
Which survival builder game?
This game.
I don't.
No, I think you're thinking of V Rising.
No. This game is one of these games that are
No,
coming out
this
next
is more
month.
of a strategy style game.
Okay.
Which does have me like less excited, but man, the game looks absolutely gorgeous.
It is cheaper than a full retail price. I think it's at $50 maybe or 60 bucks. I don't know. It's like 50 or 60 bucks.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's coming out literally in 7 days.
Yeah. Well, it's on Game Pass.
It's oh great, I'll use my Game Pass subscription
There you go.
that I don't have.
I mean, why not? You got it. It's a
I-
game you're interested in.
I don't have it.
Oh, I thought you had the free like
Hell
promo
no,
thing.
I canceled that shit day one.
Well, you can sign up for $1.
No, I'm good.
Gives you 14 days.
All right, and then the big one, Phantom Blade Zero. And
No, don't talk about that around with War here. You don't
Why?
like QTE.
oh Lord help, he is a QTE.
If you choose to be challenged,
He's a QTE that
sky
gives me
isn't the
CTE.
limit. It's just the beginning. Find your next
God
level.
bless. I'm sorry about the
Our
ads,
Army
guys. I
Civilian
refuse right now to
Careers.com.
give YouTube my money.
Every dog deserves
And
to
so I
shine.
feel like they put extra ads
And
in my
with
videos
programs
just to
proven
annoy the shit out of me.
advanced nutrition.
Well,
Yeah,
after
Phantom.
paying Jeff Keighley $250,000 for 2 seconds, they got to get their money somehow.
Okay, so this is on a PS5. Do you see how smooth this shit looks? Like, I remember when this game was revealed, and literally every single person was like, we're gonna have to wait to see what it actually looks like, because we've seen games come out that show really good trailers and have really polished sections that they show, even of gameplay, and then the game comes out and it's not that. This looks damn near exactly like what I was expecting.
And it's not a Souls-like.
And it's... Does it have a parry? Does it?
Not just that, it has difficulty levels.
Oh. Does it? Oh, what's up, JC? I'm sorry. What's up, Ron? How are you? Make sure I didn't miss anybody else coming in. Okay, I did not. But guys, this game, like... So this is all the tutorial. That's great.
It's like a dark, Stellar Blade almost,
So
as far as combat wise.
yeah, I'm just
That's-
in, like, this game looks sick.
It's the feelings I'm getting is just like that dark, like Japanese Gothic style aspect, but you got some of the Stellar Blade combat in there as well.
Like, it just looks great. And I don't know, so one of the things I'm going to point out real quick, I don't know if this is SSR or if it's actual
Dude, what is SSR?
screen space reflections. It's
Okay, explain that. What is
so
that?
basically it's ray tracing before ray tracing was ray tracing. So it's
Okay, question. Since when did you start liking all this graphical shit? Like, this is new to me.
What do you mean?
Like, I've never heard you talk like this. Now all of a sudden you're into like ray tracing and shit.
So the way this works, if I have the choice between I either get 60 FPS or I get ray tracing, I'm going to go 60 FPS every single time. If and here's where it gets a little subjective, or a lot subjective actually. If I feel like a developer could have easily put in a VRR mode, given me 1440p at 40 FPS with ray tracing, that's what they should have done.
Thrifty Foundry.
So Thrifty Foundry, that's funny. But what all I was going to point out was when I play the video, the fire and the campsite in the background is actually reflecting off of the boxes behind it. So little details like that is stupid shit that I pick up when I'm looking at a game like this that has a more kind of pseudo-realistic look to it. And I also base a lot of what I critique um, about art style and ray tracing and stuff like that with how demanding the game is. So like a game like Diablo should have no issue in the world adding ray tracing to it. True ray tracing shouldn't have an issue. There's not that much going on the screen, even though it looks like a shit ton. I don't think it should have come out without ray tracing. And then earlier in the show, I used the Stellar Blade and how they didn't use ray tracing, but the screen space reflections they did looked really well done. So I wasn't too against Stellar Blade and the way they did what they did. What I hate is when you have a new game that comes out, it's supposed to be highly polished, highly this, highly that, blah, 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 and you get the game and you're like, oh, they kind of phoned in certain sections of it. Or you get a game where it doesn't run. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a great example of this. It doesn't run properly in a certain mode with certain frames or whatnot. Like, so it's not that I've switched to liking or preferring ray tracing over everything else. It's that because I've been playing Diablo and it doesn't have ray tracing, that's on my mind a lot because I felt like that game should have. I felt like that game would have been ripe for it, and it would have made the experience of casting all the spells so much more enjoyable. Not that it's not fun, like the gameplay loop, like I talked about earlier, sucks me in every time I load it up. But it would have been, the presentation wise, would have been better. But yeah, so that's why I've been talking about it. Also, when I look at AAA games coming out, well, that's kind of one of the things I expect. I expect a AAA game or a high budget AA game even to have some form of ray tracing. My machine can do it. Mark Cerny has said my machine can do it, and I want it to do it. And I don't think 3 years into the life cycle, 3.5 now, that's an unreasonable request for these games coming out. They should be perfecting what they're doing with the hardware, and two things that should be in every game, whether in just the quality mode or not, are ray tracing, and you should have a VRR in there, a VRR option in there somewhere. Those are the two things that like should be in every game. We already know from last gen that they should run at 4K or 1440p. Like that shouldn't be an issue either. And so that's where that comes from. Like as we get further along in the generation, the standards of what I expect continue to go up because I'm a spoiled rotten PlayStation gamer. Like that's what they've done every single gen. That's why Last of Us 2 looks like it has ray tracing, but it doesn't. Which is the strangest thing. You could have told me that that game was full on ray trace, and I'd have been like, yeah, you can see it. Look at the reflections. Look at everything. Look at all this stuff. Look at the way the light bounces off of stuff. No, Naughty Dog is just really, really good at using screen space reflections. Really good at it. And even when you're with Ellie and you're standing in front of the mirror, and like everything you do is from a third person view, but you see her moving perfectly in the mirror with all of your like motions and everything, like that is super impressive to me that they did that like that, because that's not usually what happens. Like if you walk, and you can actually see it in some of the other sections, when you walk into certain like bathrooms, like their reflections aren't actually on the mirrors because the game doesn't have ray tracing. So that's where I'm at with that. But this game, as I was pointing out, if you look back over here, you can actually see, well, you could have seen, the reflections on the boxes back over here, and I think that that is really cool. Just throwing that out there. But also, if you notice, the first thing I pointed out was how smooth the game ran because it's running at 60. And
Oh yeah, this trailer looks so much better than the first reveal. And the first reveal, I believe, was pure CGI, was it not?
I think
Or
it
in-game,
was.
like
Yeah,
in-game engine or whatever.
Yeah, because
or
I don't
however
think it
they
was
want to
actual gameplay.
manipulate that. But yeah, this is actual gameplay, and this looks so much better and so much smoother than that first announcement reveal.
I refuse to accept it as a need. Listen, I'm not saying it's a need. Once again, I played Stellar Blade and I love that game. And it doesn't have it in it. But like, if these games are going to keep requesting $70 or more, like, I'm gonna want to start seeing that. Especially in exclusives. And
Not me. I
so,
want my games to have a story. Give me the money's worth in story and gameplay. Make it look pretty. Because I think the details in games are starting to really kill it, man. Like they're just so focused so much on the detail that these games are turning out to be 20 hours or whatever. You're expecting a 40, 50-hour banger, or they're so worried about just the little shit, which yeah, it's cool, but look at Starfield. I mean, they focus so much on them damn sandwiches that they forgot about the rest of the game. Like, give me
right.
gameplay, give me story, make it look nice, and have it run well. That's my only requirements. The rest, do as you wish, but put out the game in fucking 4 years, not six, because you wanted to add a couple extra freaking footsteps or whatever.
No, and like I said, I understand what you're saying. I really do. And you know that I am a story-driven guy. Like that's my thing. Story-driven action adventure, action RPGs, top-down isometric action games. Like I love a good story. That's why the game Victor Vron is so cool because there is actually a decent story with it. Um, but like I said, man, on these $70 titles, like I expect certain things, and even if I do, so here's the way this works, though. Here's how I know it's not that important. Even though I want it, and it is something that I look for, and it is something that when I do a review I do talk about. If the gameplay is really good, or like you said, if the story is really good, I have always given to the thought that gameplay can overcome graphics, right? Good gameplay and good graphics can overcome a weak story. An amazing story can overcome rougher gameplay. Like I've I've always thought that. And it's actually there's several games that if y'all go and listen to some of my reviews, I talk about how the gameplay loop is fantastic, but the story is literally non-existent. Actually, in my Ascent video, I had pointed out that the story literally is just enough to give you a reason to go shoot things. And that's it. It's really not that deep. And so, but the gameplay overcame that. Because the gameplay is fun as hell. And all the different
Yeah,
upgrades you can do. But go ahead.
I mean, like the story in let's just use Stellar Blade wasn't like the oh my god over the top storyline. That was good. I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't play that game from start to finish because of the story. I played that game start to finish because of the gameplay. Because of the different routes, like, oh, well, hey, you're going to go over here and you're going to do this side quest and you're going to collect this can or whatever. That was what drove me, not so much the story. It wasn't until the last, I would say, last quarter, 25% to the last 20% of the game, where the story actually hooked me to really drive that down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the gameplay in Stellar Blade sold me more than anything.
So Josh said, I stand by play BioShock.
that's another game I gotta finish.
That's funny. Okay, got y'all. It's actually the heavy or slow combat that turned me off. Okay. And then sounds like a Warawana said it sounds like a well done story. Just a story that gives you enough reason to go shoot something. It's like, yes, for that game, sure. But if you have just that story and the gameplay is shit, then no, that's not good. That's not good at all. And so that's my take on it. I think, and not, this is we kind of got off topic a little bit from not bragging, but from doting over Phantom Blade Zero. The game looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait for this thing to come out. And it comes out in we don't know. Yeah, we have no earthly idea when it's coming. Do we? Hang on.
I have zero idea.
yeah,
I want to say it was like 2025 area.
That sounds right.
At best. At best.
Let's come over here.
Well, there's a playable demo, and they're advertising the shit out of it, and it's on tour, so it might be sooner.
It might be. It might be early 2025 for all we know.
Yeah, let's see if there's any kind of... Nope, there's not. Okay.
Josh is saying 2025.
I want you to-
so
Okay, I believe Josh. So
it could be first quarter 2025. So
those were the games at the Summer Games Fest that actually kind of either interest me or sparked my interest. Couple of them I do plan on playing. I said that there were 3-4 games that I really thought that I'd end up playing. Couple of them are going to be day one purchases for me. With Phantom Blade Zero, with the Power Rangers game. And so we have a lot of games coming. There's not a lot of PlayStation exclusives coming, but we have a lot of games. And our last topic of the night, we're going to continue on to games. We are not going to talk about the Phil Spencer stuff. We will get to that later. But we are going to talk about NGC, Nelson Gaming Culture. We're going to talk about his game of the year in Astro. And so let's go here. Let's use the State of Play trailer. Yes. Because this game. So when I first saw this, I was thinking a $30 game, $40 game. Because I was like, okay, it's going to be super small, going to be super short. It's going to be a really good time, good for my kids, good for me. But I was expecting a super, super short game. And then it comes out that there's going to be like 80 freaking levels over 5 different galaxies. And they are looking to take this to the next level. And so I am super excited about this. And Josh said something in the Discord that was like, hey, what if like we're seeing the backside of the PS5 Pro? And I was like, with the rocket launchers? Like, and then I said, it'd be kind of cool if you beat the game and like part of the game being beaten was you got to see like a close like look of the PS6, or they could even do it as a DLC. They said there's a DLC coming out pretty soon after the game, so who knows? We might see the PS5 Pro at a showcase, and they add I said PS6 earlier. I'm sorry. We might see like a PS5 Pro as a level, kind of like they had in the first one with the PS5. So I don't know, but this game.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool if they did like the Uncharted series, and you were trying to uncover, the trail to the PS5 Pro?
Oh, that would be fun. That
would be
cool.
Awesome.
But like,
it's like in search for the lost PS5 Pro DLC
they got
bundle.
Parappa the Rapper, which is insane. They got the PS5. Like, the boss battles look cool. Like, everything in this game looks like it's just going to be a great time. I don't think CPS5 till next year. Oh, that wasn't you, Josh. My bad. I thought that was you. The hell, it was somebody in the Discord.
So Josh doesn't think we're gonna see the PS5 Pro until next year.
I don't think we're gonna see that thing at all.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Part of me doesn't think so.
God, that game looks so fun. All right, so simple question. RPG, day one or no?
Astrobot,
Yep.
day one.
Okay. Will, day one or no?
Oh yeah, day one.
Okay. Platinum, same question to RPG. Platinum?
I tell you what, I'm gonna do the platinum, but I'm gonna do the platinum that came with the packed-in PS5 game, Astrobot's Playroom. I'm gonna do that platinum before I even buy the new Astrobot game. Before I even sink my pre-order in, I'm gonna platinum the Playroom.
Just go ahead and get it.
Yep, that's my plans as soon as I got some time, probably next weekend.
That's going to be awesome. This game looks so fun. And
I think I'm like 70% of the way there anyway, so.
Hearing somebody say it looks like PlayStation's like 3D Mario type game, that's awesome. Because I feel like we're back to the days where, or trying to get back to the days where the console has a mascot, right? Like back in the day, we had those Jax and Daxter. That was like that. That's what I remember from the PS1. Spyro the Dragon, I remember from the PS1. Uh, Crash Bandicoot, I remember. Like those were.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, like the. Well, I was thinking more kids IP.
Oh well, I mean, depends on your childhood, but
I guess that's true too.
I mean, I grew up playing Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Twisted Metal, Parasite Eve, Silent Hill.
I shouldn't shame people for their childhood.
Very, very mature childhood.
Yeah, that was not me. But man, I'm just saying, there's so many fun things to look forward to. We have a full-blown Astros game coming. We have supposedly another showcase that Sean Layden was pretty damn secure in saying that we were going to be having. And so I'm excited for the rest of this year. Outsider Gaming Night, I know we want to get to the Phil Ness. We want to hear the bullshit. We want to joke about it. We want to have a good time with that. But honestly, it has been super refreshing tonight, even though we've only maxed out at like 27 viewers. It has been super refreshing tonight to just sit here and talk about video games and what games are coming. We've mixed in some of what we're playing, what we have played, games we like, genres we like. Guys, we've talked about everything gaming tonight, and I absolutely loved that. I really have been trying to get this night off for 3.5 weeks now, and so it's one of those things that when you constantly have a lot of like news topics to discuss, and because we're so video game minded here, every single news topic always links us into a side trail or a rabbit hole or whatever, and it carries us all the way through. And then by the time we were getting to talking to the games, we were out of time. And so glad that I'm so happy we were able to do this show tonight. I hope that y'all enjoyed it as well. RPG88, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate that. Will, glad you were able to make it in tonight. Hope you have a safe trip. You can find both of their links in the description below to their X accounts. Also, just to let y'all know, you can join the channel. There's a lot of green in here. Once y'all's memberships expire from being gifted for those first couple weeks, you can always rejoin. Um, and I am this weekend. I'm going to be working on 2 new emojis to put in here. One is absolutely going to be an owl, and the other one I'm not too sure yet, but going to get those put in, going to get those working and up and running so we can have more emojis in the chat. And Will, do you have anything to say before we head out?
Nope, nothing to say. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Oh crap! I just realized that nobody could see the Astrobot trailer. Sorry,
It's all good.
Wara.
We all know what it looks like.
Yeah, I once again looking at one side of my screen and not the other. My bad, guys. RPG, you got anything to say before we head out?
No, not really. Just guys, just do your research. Whether you're hardcore, whether you're casual, do your research before you put money down. I mean, don't pre-order things if you're uncertain. Do
Yeah.
your research. Find a guy that you trust that reviews video games, whether it's on a YouTube, whether it's on an article, somebody that you chime with, somebody that gets you as a gamer. Don't just go out there and pre-order just to pre-order.
Oh, hey, real quick, well, obviously you said that. And don't feel like you have to buy anything day one. Remember,
No,
time is your
absolutely.
friend with video games. The games will come out
Especially
in
with
better
single
condition.
player.
Especially, yep, the games will come out in better condition. You'll save money. You know, don't have this. What do they call it nowadays?
FOMO.
FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't for what? Don't impress anybody. Get the
For
games
what?
because you want to play them. You know, nobody's here questioning how many games you buy, whatever. You know, I will question you if you're over here talking about how shit a game is, but yeah, you never fucking played it. Then I'll be like, okay, dude, shut up. Your opinion is invalid. But besides that, who cares? Buy your games whenever you buy them. You get to them when you get to them. It is what it is. But yeah, especially nowadays where they're demanding $70 games, $40 DLCs, $20 skins. It's like make them earn our money.
That 15-minute bonus mission you get in your pre-order is not going to mean anything.
Yeah.
Being able to play the game 72 hours before me in a single player game doesn't mean you're.
It means nothing.
It means absolutely
And
nothing.
no, I am not talking to anybody in specific. I'm just saying in general because I see it on X all the time, man. It's like guys just
Hero was
so
like, "Ah, I'm
desperate.
being called out."
Why did Hero
It's
say
something
something?
that I am working
he-
myself out of is buying pre-ordering day one unless there's like a incentive like a live service game. Let's use Call of Duty for example, because you get the early access, you get all these packs and whatnot. That's something I'm comfortable in going into. But day one single player games, it's not really worth it. It's not worth the $30 extra in your Game Pass to play it.
Yeah, 'cause
48.
Then you're buying a DLC for a game you don't actually even try to sort of
Exactly.
kind of own.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I'm a pure digital gamer. I don't technically own anything that I buy on the Microsoft Store or the PSN.
right, but if you subscribe to it, if you stop your Game Pass subscription, you now have a
it's all gone.
$30 piece of digital content you have no way to access unless you buy the game.
And you know what I had to do the other day when they dropped that little update for the Starfield? I didn't go and subscribe to Game Pass Ultra. I went and subscribed to Game Pass Core because I was playing Call of Duty still, and I went out and spent the $46 to buy Starfield just to play it. So they got more money out of me than me just paying the $70 day one to get the standard mode.
See, that's where physical comes real handy too, because like I bought Starfield for like $20 physical copy. So in that situation, because I did the same thing, RP, I ended up buying the whatever the $40 to play the game early, and then you got the DLC coming up. Well,
Yeah, I
I'm
paid
like I'm not
$40 to play a busted 30 FPS game that
exactly.
had bugs and
And then it hit me like I'm
was-
not gonna keep paying for Game Pass, so I went and bought it physically. I paid $20, so I ended up spending $60 for the deluxe edition at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Yep.
Guys,
And I ended up paying more than you.
that's actually some great advice. Hell, this whole channel was started basically based off of that notion of I'm gonna find games on sale. I'm gonna stick to my 3 full price games a year, and I'm going to review older games because people don't people buy 3 to 4 new games a year on average. I know that people in my Discord, I know
I
Will,
buy that in a week sometimes.
right, I know this, but on average, people buy 3 to 4 games a year. And if we take the old adage that time is money, then maybe you see a game and you're like, man, it's only $5, but is it worth your time? And there's been a few reviews that I've done. Bastion was actually one of them. I got that game for like $4. But I wanted to do a video on is it worth your time? Because sure, $4, clean out your car. You can probably find $4 in there. You can probably find some change in there. Like, and get that game. So the monetary side of it wasn't even that big of a deal. But is it even worth it for you to take the time, download it, play it, or is it just something you should skip? And by the way, Bastion, definitely not a skip. Definitely should purchase. Uh, and so, like, this is great advice. FOMO is a real thing. FOMO almost got me last year on Diablo 4. I'm so happy I waited. Because two reasons. One, I didn't give Blizzard my money directly. But two, I literally had to have my view changed on that game by people who I trust when it comes to gaming. And so, like, that gave it the time it needed, and I was able to find it on a really, really good discount. And so, like, these games, even the not single player games, they always drop in price. They always go on sale. And so with Ubisoft, it's on sale 2 months after, sometimes 2 weeks after. With EA, it's usually on sale a month or two after. With PlayStation titles, they're usually on sale about 6 months after. Nintendo titles, well, you know,
Maybe in the
Yeah.
next console generation.
maybe
Keep waiting.
right.
Keep waiting.
Yeah, about to say,
How much is Mario Kart 8 right now?
it's still 60
Fucking like,
fucking dollars.
yeah. And remember, Nintendo raised the price extra for Zelda. You had to pay
Right.
70 for that
Like,
sucker.
so just keep waiting for them. But for most games that we all play, you can always find them on sale. And when you do, I will tell you this. I like and I am more lenient on games that I do not have a higher financial investment in. It's just it's just pure psychology at that point. Like, you spend $10 on a game and you're like, "Okay, cool. Got it." And you're like, that really wasn't that good." Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. If I would have bought it when it was on PlayStation Plus Premium, it was like $20. If I would have paid $20 for that game, I would have been so pissed off at that game and at me for spending $20 on it because it's a game that I did for a review, and I will never ever play that game again in my life. It is not a game for me. And so I got it. I got to play it as part of a subservice. That did that did take away the feel bad afterwards of like, man, I spent 7 hours with this game and this thing fucking it's just not for me. And so, like, find these games, find them on sale. If you're on the fence about them, wait for a super deep sale. Like, I want Assassin's Creed Mirage, but I will not pay over $20 for that game. Because if I don't like it, $20 is what I feel like I can part with for that title. Jedi Survivor. I really want to play that game. $25 is my dollar amount on that.
Who
Beating
have
a
you heard say that Jedi Survivor sucks?
nobody.
Exactly. You need to buy that damn game,
You need
3.
to
What are you
buy that
waiting
game.
on? That game is
I'm
fucking
waiting.
great.
So that's the other thing. I not in every area of my life because I'm not perfect, but in gaming I exhibit a lot of self-control. A lot. And it's because when I don't, I end up buying, I end up spending money like Will. And no, not that bad. And not even that that's bad, but not that frequently, should I say. I'll end up buying 4 games or 5 games in a month. And then my wife looks at me and goes, "Hey, why are we missing $400?" "Oh yeah, I bought a game." She was like, "Yeah, you bought a game. why,
See,
why?
it's only a problem if you're budgeting. I mean, that's pocket money for me. Like I'm spending like look what happens when I don't buy games. I go on vacation and spend 10 times more than if I would have got freaking 10 collector's edition. You know what I'm saying?
Will's like, it saves me money to buy video
It saves
games.
me money to buy video games. Keeps my ass on the couch.
Which,
Keeps you out of the bars, keeps you off the roads, keeps you
Yep.
out of
Just doing dumb
the
shit.
clubs.
right.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But guys, a lot of good advice there at the end from these two guys. Like, and at the end of the day, if you want to be somebody like Will, or if you are somebody like Will, like, don't let anybody tell you that that's bad. Like, we screw with him often about being a whale. We mess with him constantly, but it's all in good fun. Like, nobody's really, me and Quiet Doom, we're not sitting there screwing with him because we really think that he's being stupid or whatnot. We're messing with it because it's funny. But like, don't let anybody tell you. And one of the things that Wara said. Hang on. I'm not answering that. That's funny. Hang on. Finally, common sense. RPG. Where was it? Who said it? Oh, yeah. Warawana up here said, "Don't feel pressured to keep up. The single player games ain't going anywhere."
That's
And
true.
that's what I would say too. Like, they're not leaving. They're not. You're going to be able to find them. PlayStation's really still committed to physical games. So even if they delist it from the store, you could probably still go find a copy somewhere. And so like, don't get don't get too wrapped up in all of the hype. That is one thing that at the beginning of this year has actually hurt the channel more than it helped, was that there were 2 games within a month of each other that came out that were on my list to purchase. And so they were also 2 pretty decent sized games. One I'm going to end up having 90 hours in by the time I'm done with the damn thing. And the other one is probably going to have 45 to 50 hours in. So those are larger games. And when you're playing those, because, I'm still a gamer at the end of the day, games that excite me and new titles that excite me that I want to play, I'm going to play those, and I'm not going to play games that I'm trying to find on sale or anything like that because I'm excited about these other titles. And so, like, that has actually lowered the frequency of my videos as well. But who says that I had to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth day one or Stellar Blade day one? Like, I'm glad, and I'm glad that other people did too, because it really helps support the devs, especially with Stellar Blade and things like that. But like, you can wait. You're not the purchase that is going to make or break a studio. And so like, when people come out and go, "Man, guys, we got to make sure that we buy this new Call of Duty to show Microsoft that we're going to buy games, that we're going to do this, that we can support them," da 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 da.
You can't save Microsoft.
You can
There's nothing you can do. They can sell 50 million games right now, whatever, and they still won't
Listen,
save their
but
ass.
I was just using that as an example. Like,
As a matter of fact, we should just end them faster, just like get it over with.
or let's
Cut that last bit of rope.
okay, let's use Rise of Ronin. You don't need to go out and buy Rise of Ronin day one to prove that you're a PlayStation gamer, to prove that you support PlayStation, to prove that you're a Sony fan, or to support the brand, or support like, you don't have to do that. If you're not actually excited and wanting to play it day one at that moment, then you can very easily just let it go. Or you can buy it, keep it in the wrapping, and put it on your shelf. And then when you want to play it, play it. Either way is fine. I'm just letting you know that you don't have to get trapped into that. So, anyways, guys, holy crap. You're welcome, Hero. Man, Hero, you have been one of the first in here. You, RPG88, and Toolman. I remember where it was just like us, and that was it. And so it's always a pleasure to see y'all in here. And I am gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Guys, have a wonderful night. We talked about a shit ton of games. I hope y'all had fun. And remember the links in the description below. Also, my wife's business, roundaboutsoapery.com, is down there. You can order anywhere in the United States, and we will fulfill those and ship those, and they are made here. They are not made by somebody else, and we slap our label on it. These are actually hers. They're her creations. Uh, they're her designs. All of it is from her. So, anyways, I can't take any credit. They're too cool looking for me to take credit for them. But y'all have a wonderful night, and as always, guys, stay